States said many such fears are unfounded, but the resolution opposing a program passed with a 2-to-1 vote. So the people who know about these things can show the commissioners these fears that you have are not, for the most part, valid. This is how we do the program. This is how we prevent the things that you're talking about from happening, and still they vote it down. It was introduced by Utah County Commissioner Bill Lee after the idea was informally proposed at town halls to address opioid addiction in the county. County Commission Chair Nathan Ivey said a needle exchange program run by a nonprofit could be an addiction-fighting tool, but his colleagues disagreed. Needle exchanges are aimed at curbing the spread of disease by making clean needles available. Public health officials say that they can help reduce drug use by keeping drug users healthy and then directing them to counseling centers. No, we can't have it because, well, we've heard that.
Yeah, that's all they govern on anymore.
No collusion, but if there was collusion, it was totally legal. So President Trump, this is why it's very significant, I think, that Robert Mueller has subpoenaed all of Donald Trump's tweets, because he says things that can get him in trouble. President Trump went on a Twitter tirade on Sunday acknowledging for the first time that the June 2016 Trump Tower meeting, which is in the crosshairs of Robert Mueller's investigation, the purpose of that meeting was to gather information on his political rival, Hillary Clinton.
He said it.
From the Russians. Now, he does say, this kind of thing happens all the time. We try to gather information on our political opponents. Not from the Russians.
Nope.
Wait a minute. He told us that it was about adoption.
Yeah.
The president's latest social media meltdown was in reaction to what he called a complete fabrication in Sunday's Washington Post, claiming Trump was concerned innocent and decent people, including his son Donald Trump Jr., could be hurt by Mueller's probe, exploring links between Trump's campaign and Russia. This was a meeting to get information on an opponent, totally legal, done all the time in politics, and it went nowhere, he wrote, and I didn't know about it.
None of that's true.
None of that is true, because they had a meeting before the meeting to talk about the meeting.
13 months ago, Trump gave a different explanation for the meeting between his eldest son and parties alleging ties to the Russian government. A July 2017 statement credited to Don Jr. and later discovered to have been dictated by the president said, "We primarily discussed a program about the adoption of Russian children that was active and popular with American family years ago." But no, that's not what it was. Trump Jr. said almost immediately after that, well,
on TV,
I went there because I heard that there was some information we should get about Hillary Clinton, and that's why I took campaign officials with me.
And what they're most annoyed with is that you're making this big deal, and we didn't get any good information. No, the point is not that you didn't get good information.
That's not the point. Yeah.
So and here's the deal: Trump supporters will see this as an illegitimate attempt to bring down their leader. This is fake news. This is fabricated. This is the deep state going after this great man.
And they're embracing it. I tweeted a picture that someone tweeted at me of people at a Trump rally. These two guys wearing T-shirts that says, "I'd rather be Russian than vote Democrat."
Yeah. Well, okay, pack your bags, buddy.
So you're fellow Americans.
No, Bill, you don't have to pack your bags.
They're here.
You can be Russian and be right here.
Yeah, they're right here. Maria Butina.
President Trump's lawyer, Jay Sekulow, vowed to take the case all the way to the Supreme Court if special counsel Robert Mueller's team tries to subpoena the president as part of the Russia investigation. I mean, that's up to him at the end of the day. He's the president. He gets to make that decision. We're going to give our advice, but I think, look, if you get a subpoena, you file what's called a motion to quash. And if that doesn't happen, we'll take it all the way to the Supreme Court. I'm standing by my prediction. He steps down.
You think?
Yep.
But it won't be about this. Will it be about his hotels?
Maybe. Maybe.
Because that would be the better excuse to take.
But see, he said he is worried about what this is going to do to his family. Which I said from the beginning.
He's not worried. I mean, he doesn't want his family to go to prison.
He is concerned that his son, Don Jr., could go to prison.
Not so much Eric, though. I don't like Eric much.
So
can we send Tiffany instead?
Tiffany, somebody get her away from Lindsay Lohan. Put both of them in prison. And we're going to Chicago on Wednesday. I'd just like you to know that 40 people were shot in Chicago over the weekend.
All right.
During the 7 hours from midnight Saturday to early Sunday morning. 4 fatalities, police say. It's been relatively calm in Chicago lately until this weekend. 40 people shot in Chicago over the weekend. Let's enjoy our trip when we go there.
Okay.
All right.
Weather, traffic.
Brought to you by the Tour of Utah welcomes the world's best cyclist to America's toughest stage race course going on. It starts today, actually. Details at tourofutah.com. And you should follow that because you're interested, and you should also follow it to pay attention to road closures and things like that. It's smoky and gross, 92 for a high today. Traffic, I noticed this driving back from St. George yesterday. I feel like there's been road construction in Utah County for 20 years, just nonstop.
It's true. It's absolutely true. Anytime I would ever drive down to see Dad or my brother, there's something.
So there's a new I-15 configuration. Northbound drivers will see a split near 2100 North in Lehi. If you need to exit, you have to stay to the right side of the split, or you won't be able to exit until you get like all the way into Draper.
Is there any way you can drive around Utah County?
No,
just kind of drive around it.
There's no way.
I guess you probably have to go to Nevada to do that.
That's traffic. Get unlimited 1.5% cash back plus a $100 bonus with Power Cashback credit card from Security Service Federal Credit Union. Restrictions apply. Get details at ssfcu.org.
And sports brought to you by?
Why wait for a special occasion when you can celebrate at the Melting Pot every day? Enjoy cheese and chocolate at the bar or reserve a table for a 4-course experience at the Melting Pot.
Amy Donaldson Sports. Break.
Here she is, Amy Donaldson. She writes sporting news and columns for the Deseret News. You can read all of her stuff at deseretnews.com or AD on Sports. That's the Twitter at AD on Sports.
I was just reading your column. I wonder.
I've already gotten some interesting response. Thank you so much.
From your family?
No, not from my family.
Talk about your column today.
I just wanted to address the sort of the public discussion. It was about the Ohio State allegations that
Urban Meyer,
that Urban may have known about an assistant coach's 2 arrests for domestic violence, one in 2009, one in 2015. This is a gentleman who worked for him at Florida, and he worked for him until a reporter asked him about these allegations.
Right.
And at first, Ohio State said, "Hey, this is a private family matter." And then a couple days later, he was let go, and
the assistant coach.
It's since snowballed, yeah. And former ESPN reporter Brett McMurphy, who was laid off in the latest round of layoffs, actually has broken all his stuff on his Facebook page, which is another interesting. Which is the era we're in. Yeah.
He's continued to report without getting paid for it.
And he's just doing it on his Facebook page, and so that it's just what bothered me more was the discussion about. Was she credible and why she was credible and why she was coming forward right before football season. And, people always want to assign this.
Because the football is the important part, not the domestic violence part.
They think this woman cares more about I'm going to wait and tell everybody. She's actually been telling people for years and was begged by her family. And so I just wanted to address some of the myths associated with domestic violence, including the whole, well, if you were really abused, you would leave. And so that's what my column is about. People keep thinking it's about whether or not Urban Meyer should be fired. I have my opinion about that, and I don't make it a secret. But I think it's pretty clear he knew. So
you're going to keep that a secret, are you?
No, it's in the column.
And he didn't just know in Ohio.
No,
he knew in Florida and brought this guy with him, which I think is a whole other level.
He was actually, I think he was hired before Urban because he was already there, right? He's the only person on the staff that was held over.
But he worked with him in Florida.
Yeah, he did.
So he knew way back then.
No, it's not. Yeah. And apparently a couple players have come out and said we all knew.
Yeah, because the wives talked. And
here's how you justify that in your mind. If you're Urban Meyer or players, you say, well, he was charged for it. And
he wasn't criminally charged.
It wasn't criminally charged?
No, she did not press charges.
She didn't press charges, but it was adjudicated somehow, and now it's behind him. And it was
never adjudicated. So that's what I address is that somehow we apply a legal standard to our lives. Like when you decide who you're going to be friends with, you don't apply these like, is this a crime, right? If the dude's a bad dude, you don't hang out with him, right? If someone they don't have to be criminals to be not worthy of working with young men in a football program. And that's my issue is why do we keep applying the standard of reasonable doubt, which is an amazingly high standard, to deciding whether or not these guys can keep their jobs?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying is that's how the justification happens in Urban Meyer's mind,
I personally think he didn't see it as a risk. Yeah. There's until the last couple of years, there has been no consequence. Why would people cover up for Larry Nassar? Why would people cover up for Sandusky?
All very recent.
Right? All of these things, I think that for a long time, they've had unfettered power, and they don't see it as a risk. They have been able to keep, criminal behavior on staff in their ranks without much blowback, as long as they win.
I certainly know that's true in Joe Paterno's case at Penn State, because people say, well, Joe didn't know, really. Well, he did.
Yeah.
But he knew
he chose to look the other way.
Well, and in Urban Meyer's case, he said he didn't know anything about it, and basically said Brett McMurphy was, a liar.
Well, then he turned around, he turned around and said, "No, I did know about it, and I took the proper steps."
I followed protocols, and this is the new thing now. And this is what happened in Michigan State. We followed protocols. That's not good enough. When you're talking about people's health and safety, that's not good enough. You reported it to someone. What else did you do?
Because that clears you in your mind. Like, well, I told somebody, so.
But all it really does is protect the university. And my argument is we should be protecting the people who are vulnerable.
All right, let's get to sports.
Utah Royals win their first game since June 30th to keep their playoff hopes alive. They beat the Houston Dash 2-1 with 2 late game goals.
Wait a minute, the Houston Dash?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're fast, Carrie.
Oh, okay.
I thought they were named after a laundry detergent.
Yeah.
Could be. Or a car. Isn't there a car that's a Dash?
I don't know.
The top 4 teams make the playoffs. They host the Washington Spirit on Wednesday here at Rio Tinto. Real Salt Lake beat Chicago 2-1 on 2 goals from Damir. Is it Kralak?
I think so.
You're my RSL.
Sure.
Yeah. He's tied now with Joao Plato for the most goals, the team leading goals. So they each have 6. And they play on Saturday, the 11th. They host Montreal. And they only have like 11-ish, 10 or 11 games left as well.
Yeah, it's coming to a close.
So every game is huge, and every point is going to decide whether or not they make the playoffs as well. Salt Lake Bees manager Keith Johnson, after 6 or 7 years here in Salt Lake, he's going to be moving up to coach on the Angels staff.
Okay.
Eric Chavez, a 6-time Gold Glove winner with the Oakland A's, he's going to take over here in Salt Lake.
Oh.
They actually won back-to-back games Saturday, Sunday. They're on the road right now. I think they're in Omaha. They will be back Thursday.
You say Golden Gloves win, not
gold,
boxing.
No,
glove.
gold
not
glove.
boxing, but
like,
the gold.
Like
okay.
the super, like a great fielder.
But
It's
you
an
see my
award.
confusion. There are the Golden Gloves boxing,
but it's not golden. It's Gold Glove.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So let's see. Real Monarchs are still in first place. They are on the road at Reno on today. Let's see. President Trump insulted LeBron James on Twitter.
Yep.
And our local guy, Donovan Mitchell, said the president was setting a bad example for kids.
And then he got. I'm setting his he's setting a bad example for kids, and Donovan Mitchell got crap for that.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't think he got as much crap. I thought he, because in the same week, he also paid for a young man to get his phone fixed who has intellectual disabilities. And his brother tweeted about it, and it made the rounds on social media, and then the rest of us picked it up. But so I didn't think he got. I actually read. I don't always go read what people tweet back at somebody.
I read some of it.
But I wanted to know, and there was some like stop being.
Why don't you just focus on sports?
And I think he specifically wasn't political. He said this is a bad example. And if you read the tweet, it's
I retweeted it if you want to look at it.
Yeah, so, and there's actually an article at x96.com.
Politics gets into sports, shouldn't happen.
Sorry.
Well, it happens when the president decides.
Well, I was going to say it happens at the beginning of every game when we have the national anthem. I'm sorry.
Well, and the other thing is, LeBron's assertion was that the president is using sports to divide us.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably
Well, he's stupid. He's stupid. And so's Don Lemon. They're stupid.
Don Lemon is the dumbest reporter in America, apparently. So.
LeBron James is
man on television.
By the way, you can go back and look at a lot of Donald Trump's tweets where he praises LeBron James as being a wonderful human being and a great athlete. And
Tour of Utah, as you mentioned, starts today in St. George. It's going to be in Cedar City, out at Antelope Island in Layton, and here in Salt Lake for the stage race again, and then.
And I'll have more on that in a moment.
Sweet. And then you can read my column. That's about it.
So
There's lots of
do
football
that.
camps, but nothing yet. Football camps.
Oh, football
Everybody's-
camps.
Preseason stuff.
Yeah, I get so excited for the preseason.
Do you?
No.
You're up there. You're one of those people who's
No.
up there trying to look through the fence.
No, I'm still up with. I'm still following Canadian football right now. I'm waiting for the gray and blue game or whatever they call it.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Amy Donaldson. Read her stuff at DeseretNews.com. You're sure to be entertained and sometimes enlightened.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So traffic, Utah County drivers, a new I-15 configuration. Northbound drivers will see a split near 2100 north and Lehi. If you need to exit on SR92, you will need to stay to the right of the split. If you miss that, you have to go all the way into Salt Lake.
I hate
and then
that.
turn around. There are lots of signs.
I'm
And
gonna
stuff
find
warning
I'm
you,
gonna
but
find a way to drive around Utah County. I'm gonna find a route.
It's just a mess and has been for quite some time. Nothing via text yet from friends of the program, but do it. Send us something if you see it, 33986. Elevate your summer at Snowbird, offering daily activities like the aerial tram, mountain coaster, and the all-new Woodward Rectangle. Pre-purchase your all-day activity pass at snowbird.com.
Now, how can we combine FanX and the Tour of Utah bike race?
This is really an interesting thing that they're doing here.
Yeah, it's cosplayers. You need to let everybody in the cosplay community know. Bring your bike, wear your cosplay, and help set a record at the FanX Tour of Utah parade. So Friday, August 10th, meet at the Rio Tinto Kennecott Department of Engineering building on the University of Utah campus. Join the parade to Reservoir Park. Check-in begins at 10 in the morning, and the parade will begin at 11:30. Now, following the parade, hang out in the park for entertainment, food, beverages, and a chance to win tickets to FanX and watch the Tour of Utah pro cyclists race on by.
Oh, okay.
What day is this?
This is the 10th, Friday.
Okay.
So there you go. There's more information at fanxsaltlake.com if you go there. But don't forget, FanX is returning September 6th through the 8th to the Salt Palace. We just announced Dave Bautista is stopping by very quickly. So if they're not going to do a celebrity panel, he's just there for pictures and autographs for about half a day.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to get
Sign up.
you
That
got
will
to sign
sell
up
out fast,
Exactly,
then.
sign up right away because it's a very limited window. But go to fanxsaltlake.com for all the information.
Hey party people, I'm John Smith and I have for you every single day a 1-hour non-stop music wingding.
It is the 23rd century. Humans have left the lowly confines of planet Earth and have sought their destiny among the stars. While many things have changed, one constant remains: the need for young men to venture forth and do the work of the Lord. This is the tale of two such men who at the age of 19 have answered the call of their general authorities and are embarking on a 2-year mission to spread the gospel throughout the galaxy. This is the story of Space Elders! In this episode, we find an old adversary of Butch and Lehi planning their demise.
So, bounty hunter, you will bring me Christiansen?
Jabba the Hutt was very fond of his rancor. He would pay me more for a complete set of missionaries.
Christiansen made me look weak in front of the Emperor. Only by turning Christiansen to the dark side will I be able to regain my place by the Emperor's side.
What Elder Jensen?
Sell him to that slug, Jabba. I have arranged to have the elders meet you on Bespin. There you can ambush them without anyone noticing.
If these elders bested you and the Emperor, how do you expect me to transport them back to you?
I prefer my elders frozen. There is a carbonite facility on Cloud City. That should make transporting them simple.
Have my credits ready. I'll be right back.
Here we are, Butch. Cloud City. It sure looks like the holograms they showed us in school.
I don't know, Lehi. I always get nervous when I stand on a city that's floating miles above the surface. Are you sure this is the right place?
Zone Leader Hanson said that we're supposed to meet someone here named Lando Calrissian, right here on Bespin.
Well, church records on this Calrissian fellow show him to be a gambler, smuggler, womanizer, and a penny stock manipulator. Are you sure this is the guy?
Well, maybe he's ready to turn over a new leaf. Oh, I think that's him right there.
Hi, and welcome to Cloud City. I'm Lando Calrissian. I run the mining operation here on Bespin. Could I offer you a beverage? Perhaps some malt?
I love a malt.
Liquor?
Oh, no, we don't drink, Mr. Calrissian. I'm Elder Christiansen, and this is Elder Jensen.
Hi.
We represent the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
You know, the Mormons.
Now, our zone leader said that you might be interested in learning more about our religion.
Actually, no. We have some common acquaintances. I've made a deal with the Empire. Well, they'll leave me alone if I introduce you to this guy over here. Elders, this is Boba Fett. Boba Fett, Elders Christiansen and Jensen there. Gotta go now. Got a city to run. Bye-bye.
Well, Mr. Fett was up. Well, hi, I'm... Hey, I'm all tied up.
Cool toy. I need to get me one of those. We could convert more people if we could just tie them up first.
Now, Butch, I don't think we would be allowed to hog-tie prospective converts. Excuse me, Mr. Fett, could you untie me now?
One down, one to go.
Don't push my companion in that hole!
Whoa!
What have you done to my companion? Is Butch dead?
No, he wouldn't be worth much to me dead. Jabba wants to see him die in person. Your companion is frozen in carbonite. Now, if you would be so kind as to throw yourself down in there, we can get on with this.
You're going to take us both back to Jabba's palace?
No, you have an appointment with Darth Vader and the Emperor.
Cousin Darth? Oh, my.
Hey, get over here.
Sorry about this, Butch, but I need you to do something for me.
Don't push me.
Ah!
Oh, I guess you weighed more than I thought in this thing, Butch. I'm sorry, Mr. Fat. I hope my companion, who's now frozen in carbonite, wasn't too heavy. Oh, geez, what do I got to do now? I better go for some help.
Never leave your companion, Lehi.
Mr. Kenobi?
It is the first rule. You must never leave your companion.
Obi-Wan! Come back, I need some help. Oh, well, I guess I can put you on my luggage rack like this, Butch. Come on, let's go. Will Butch be able to serve out the rest of his mission frozen in carbonite? Can Lehi really find a big microwave to defrost him in? Will Darth Vader ever get his revenge and once again become the Emperor's favorite lapdog? And where does Boba Fett get all those neat gizmos? Tune in next time to hear Butch say... on the next mind-numbing episode of Space Elders!
Radio from Hell, proudly giving you incomplete sports and traffic with Gina Barberi on X96.
Hey, Bill.
Yes.
Good news.
What?
Our intrepid listeners have found a way that you can drive south and avoid Utah County.
Oh, Ed Brass tweeted me on this, as a matter of fact. Yeah, let's see what they say, and I'll see if it's...
It says here, you can drive down Redwood Road onto Highway 68 around the west side of Utah Lake, coming out around Goshen.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't bypass Utah County, but it does bypass all of the construction in Utah County on I-15.
Yeah, Ed said go south out of Tooele all the way to Eureka.
Oh.
And then you'll come out about Santaquin.
Santaquin's still Utah County, but it's mostly avoided.
Oh, yeah, it's clear to the end of Utah County.
Yeah.
So, and he says it's a beautiful drive. So.
Oh, I'll bet.
And I drove through all of that yesterday coming back from St. George.
Really?
What were you doing in St. George?
Well, my mother, the Sainted Mary Claire, and Daddy Gary have purchased...
Her husband.
Yes. Have purchased a second home in St. George.
Will Daddy Gary get to use it at all?
I hope so, because he's paying for it. And it's not a retirement community. It's a retirement community.
Is it
but
on
it
a
is
golf?
not a retirement community.
Is it on a golf course?
It's not on a golf course.
Is it
because they haven't built it yet?
But there will be a golf course.
There will be. It's a brand new development.
Which is they need more development down there because they've got water
tons of
they've
water.
got water that they don't know what to do with.
It's 110 down there, which you can't be outside when it's 100.
Not too much.
Not too much.
Unless of course you're somebody who has to work outside, and then you are.
Which I feel bad for those people building all those not retirement community developments down there. But my mom wanted all of my sisters to come down and have a girls' weekend and see the new house and have some bonding time. So we drove down to the not a retirement community.
Not
did you
retirement.
Did you drive together, all of you?
Yep, all in one car.
Jeez. Oh.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
So when did the arguing start? In the car or when you got there?
There's no arguing.
No?
But we're different in, our choice of snacks.
Yeah.
Well, let's lay this out. Your choice of snack this is car snack?
Yeah.
What was your choice?
Well, I like a Red Bull when I'm driving to keep me awake. And my sisters, they all had water bottles that they filled at home and brought in the car.
Right. Because they're smarter than you
Fools.
are and environmentally conscious. And what's your mother's choice of snack?
Well, my mother likes a fountain Diet Coke. She likes one of those.
If you can't do something right, don't do it at all.
And we go down there, and again, my sisters are all active and they do things.
Like ride bikes and hike and
they're like, and we get down there, and I'm like, well, this is nice. There's a pool. Let's go sit by the. No, they want to go. They want to go paddle boarding.
Right.
And
kayaking,
hiking.
Yeah.
They do know you, right? I mean, they're aware of you.
Yeah.
It's 110 degrees. Let's go hike in Snow Canyon.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I brought one pair of shoes. I brought flip flops. So this was my excuse.
That's a smart move. I just called you dumb a second ago. That was a smart move.
I didn't know we were doing stuff. I didn't bring doing stuff shoes.
I'm bigger and I'm faster. I will always beat you.
But you'll remember on Friday's show, we were talking about that I was going down St. George. And we heard from friend of the program, Disco Unicorn.
Yes.
Who just moved to Salt Lake from St. George.
Right.
And he said, you should go eat at this restaurant. It's fine dining at a gas station.
Oh, yeah. What was it called?
So I get in the car when my mom picks me up to head down to St. George, and I told her, we heard from this friend of the program that said about this fine dining in a gas station. She pulls out her phone and shows me her reservation confirmation
for this place
from Aragosta.
Aragosta. Okay.
Which means lobster.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is behind it's not in the gas station. There's like a chevron, and then around the back is this there are 7 tables.
Wow.
With white tablecloths. It's fine dining.
So you can fill up and then go have lobster.
And it's owned by this Hungarian chef who comes out to the table and welcomes you and talks about his food. It was fabulous. Fine dining
in the back of a chevron.
The back of a chevron.
Let me guess. You had a pepper steak and some fries.
No.
What did you have?
Darling, rare meat is good for you. The doctor said so.
I had filet mignon.
Filet mignon, okay.
With the lobster tail.
Okay.
And
you had the surf and turf.
Yeah. But he's Hungarian, so they had like goulash.
Did anybody try anything other than the safe stuff?
I was hoping somebody would order the goulash just so I could try it, but nobody was brave enough to try the goulash.
Everybody had surf and turf, pretty much.
Well, because I have two sisters that don't do meat really at all.
Oh.
So Mikkel wanted the lobster mac and cheese without the lobster, and he said, "You can't do the."
Yeah.
No. So here comes a table of 5 women, all of whom are troubled.
Yeah.
Could you put that on the side?
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
This poor man.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Yeah. Don't make reservations in my restaurant again, please.
But so Disco Unicorn tweeted at you two yesterday because it's his anniversary and asking for restaurant recommendations, not asking me.
No. Why would he? Why would he ask you?
He knows better.
But he gave me a restaurant recommendation in St. George.
Yeah.
So he just knows that.
He just knows not to ask you.
Not to ask you.
Well, I'm hurt, Disco Unicorn.
Don't worry. I direct messaged him all the answers that you would have given anyway. So
I just said you can never go wrong with a copper onion or copper kitchen.
But if you go to my Instagram feed, RFH Gina, my mom took I finally got everybody to go to the pool and just relax and have read a book and
Did you actually get in the water?
Yeah, I didn't put my head in, but I waded around.
X96.com/live. What?
There they are.
Where's the good-looking one?
They are all good-looking.
No.
Yes, they are all good-looking.
Okay.
Every one of them. See?
It's like bathing beauties.
Yeah.
This is like mermaids in the pool.
We were trying to do a synchronized swimming thing. At it's not a retirement center.
No, it's not. It's why. So, can we call your mother a snowbird now?
Yeah. And she wanted to name the house before we left. You guys have to help me name it.
Oh.
Has she named the house she lives in now?
No, but remember she had Rio Lobo in Huntsville. She likes naming houses.
Rio Lobo, which there were no wolves there at all. Was there a Rio even? The Rio wasn't even that close.
Yeah, the Rio was right in their backyard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was because remember Wolf Creek up there? That's why it was the...
Oh, okay.
I'm ashamed to be your mother.
But all we could come up with was the casita. Because it's not a casa. It's not a big house. It's just a little house. It's a casita.
It's not a retirement community.
It is not a retirement community.
Somebody tweet Gina, how do you say not a retirement community in Spanish? And we'll figure out a good name based on that. Not a retirement community.
And then tell her it means something else. Tell her it means the small house or something.
Or is it already named?
It's the casita.
They want the casita, not la casita.
La casita. Oh, yeah, it should be la casita.
Nobody thought of that.
No.
You guys don't deserve to have a Spanish-named house.
Clean up this mess.
Oh, and we all went to Mamma Mia and bawled.
Ugh.
Bawled.
You mean cried?
Did you see it, Richie?
That's what. Yeah. I don't really care for it when people use the term bawled for crying. Why don't you just say you cried or you wept or tears were shed? Because bald has too many other connotations to me. We went to Mamma Mia and we bawled.
No,
really?
No, we wept.
Okay, you wept.
You were back row. I
Tears
guess, right?
were shed at Mamma Mia.
All right. Was it Mamma Mia, Here I Go Again?
Yes. Yes.
Here I go again.
Oh.
Sickening.
So, of course, we listened to the soundtrack on the way home.
Mm-hmm. And sang along?
Yeah. Fernando.
Do they allow you to sing in the car? No. Because I don't think they should.
I would just periodically throughout the weekend say, Fernando.
And they said, what's that? What is that? What is
Oh, it was good.
No.
Sean Means gave it a good review.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I've read other reviews, though. I've read other reviews, the New York Times, the New Yorker, the L.A. Times.
You know how I know I'm old? So in this Mamma Mia, it flashes back to when she was young, and so
who was young?
When Meryl Streep was young, her character.
You mean when she was in that movie with Dustin Hoffman? No.
But so it's teenage Meryl Streep and teenage the three boys that she slept with within 3 weeks, which is the plot of Mamma Mia.
Spoiler.
So it's all these young, good-looking people. But you know who I was hot for in the movie?
Was Sam Elliott in it?
No, you're close.
Who?
Andy Garcia.
Oh, God.
Old Andy Garcia.
All right. The official retirement, not a retirement home translation into Spanish is No es una casa de retiro.
See that?
Retiro.
That sounds...
Casa de Retiro. That's what you should call it. Casa de Retiro.
What do I tell her it means?
No es una casa de retiro.
Just Casa de Retiro and tell her it means House of Rotisseries.
There you go. Tell her it's the Mamma Mia house.
Oh, that's Mamma Mia in Spanish.
All right.
Okay. We sort of gave you traffic before telling you how to get around the construction in Utah County. You can drive down Redwood Road to Highway 68 around the west side of Utah Lake and come out around Goshen and bypass all of the construction. If you find yourself in the construction, the new I-15 configuration northbound drivers will see a split at 2100 North in Lehi. If you need to exit on SR92, you will need to stay to the right of the split, or you won't be able to exit until you get into the Salt Lake Valley, and that will make you mad, I'm sure. If you've been hurt in a car accident, call Benson & Benson. You deserve lawyers with experience that will fight hard to get you the money you deserve. Benson & Benson, 801-889-1644.
All right.
We've got Boners Round 1 coming up. Here are the boner candidates. Number 1, oh, that's why California is on fire. Boner candidate number 2, there is still kindness in the world. And boner candidate number 3, this is a stick-up.
All right. You've got round 1 of your boner voting coming up. Stand by for that. I got to tell you about Hoops Vision, though.
Well, $800. $800.
That's
off.
a lot of money.
Now, Carrie's had the laser procedure, so have I. Eyes fixed so that you can see without glasses or contact lenses. So why don't you do it and get $800 off right now on your all-laser LASIK procedure at Hoops Vision? And what's even better, they'll finance it, 0% financing.
And there's nobody better than Hoops.
No. Dr. Hoops Sr., great junior for cataracts and things like that, and he does some of the LASIK procedures. They have all great is it ophthalmologists or optometrists? I can never remember them.
I just say eye.
They got eye guys.
Eye guys.
They've got great eye guys. So if you don't want to have to mess around with glasses or contact lenses when you're going to the swimming pool, when you're hiking, when you're doing all those active things that Gina never does, go to Hoops Vision. Make an appointment right now. There are people there now, I think. 877-30-LASIK. That's 877-305-2745. Schedule it now. Free, no obligation appointment, or go to hoopsvision.com.
I've got no roots for my heart.
Be a part of the Radio from Hell show on X96. Call 877-602-9696 or text us at 33986. Message and data rates apply.
Remember that information. You're going to need it here in about 15 or 20 minutes when you vote for Boner of the Day Round 1. Yeah, just round 1. I'm sorry to say Boner of the Day. I didn't mean to confuse you.
Because you got me all excited.
We're doing things differently now. What we have now is round 1. 3 news stories that are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior, and you'll decide with your vote which one of these 3 is the worst and therefore most qualified to go forward to Boner Fight and get the chance to become Boner of the Day. If it wins here, it's the winner of round 1. It can claim that. But it's not Boner of the Day yet. It'll have to defeat the winner of round 2. We do this again at 8:20 with 3 more candidates. So then we take the 2 winners, round 1 and round 2, throw them into the Boner Dome for a Boner Fight at 9:20. That's when you decide Boner of the Day. So 2 candidates now, 3rd after the news. Once you've heard all 3, you'll vote. One of you lucky random Boner voters will receive
a gift certificate to go see our good friends at Gracie's.
Here's Boner candidate number 1. Oh, that's why California's on fire. Right. Pastor with ties to Republican Senator Ted Cruz. Has claimed that God created these deadly wildfires in California to punish the state of California for being accepting of gay people.
I don't know why you're questioning this. It makes perfect sense.
Kevin Swanson has a history of making anti-LGBT statements. Last year, he claimed that Hurricane Harvey was a punishment from God for Texas, rejecting an anti-trans law, and that public schools will turn kids into transgender communists. In 2016, he said the Girl Scout leader should be drowned for being pro-gay.
What?
Most experts have agreed that the ferocity of the wildfires in California, which have so far killed 11 people and injured 10 and caused more than $400 million worth of damage, is due to climate change. But speaking on his Generations radio show this week, yes, it is true, they'll give anyone a radio show.
Yep.
Swanson said it was actually divine punishment. He began with a slightly inaccurate and bad-spirited recounting of the ways in which California has led the charge for LGBT equality. And then he said, he did a kind of a history. This is what California's done to promote gay people. And then he continued, and this is why California is on fire now. Divine retribution from our Lord.
He's gay.
I don't know why you made this a boner. It's clear that's what's going on.
Yeah. Boner candidate number 1. Oh, that's why California's on fire. Here's Boner candidate number 2. There is still some kindness in the world, which this story turns out well, but there is a boner involved in it.
Okay.
A Walmart cashier in... it says Burton. Where is that? Anyway, it's in...
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, a Walmart cashier saw a customer get turned away from a nail salon that was in the Walmart.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of times they'll have beauty salons in stores in Walmarts, and this was a nail salon in the Walmart, and she saw this customer get turned away. And so she took matters into her own hands. I was making sandwiches, and I was watching this, said Taisia Smith, and she said it brought me to tears. She works at the Subway inside of the Walmart. She said, and she took a picture of this, too. I wanted to post it for awareness and appreciation because people need to know what's going on. The nail salon refused to paint this customer's fingernails, this woman's fingernails, because she has palsy and her hands shake too much. She said her hands shake quite a bit due to cerebral palsy. And the nail salon said, no, we won't do it. We won't paint your nails. And I saw it, and I went over to it, and I said, you come over here.
Sweet.
I will paint your nails for you.
Oh, nice lady. More of these stories.
She says, I wanted to make her day special. I didn't really want her day to be ruined.
Oh, there's a picture at x96.com/live.
They picked out some polish at the nail place, and then they went over. Where did they? I guess
Looks
they went
at
over
the Subway, probably.
Yeah, the seating area of the Subway. And she said, come here, I'm going to paint your nails for you.
What a nice lady.
So, I mean, the boner candidate is turning this woman down at the... They could have done it,
Of course they could.
She said, I had to hold her hand steady, and, make sure, but it was doable.
Sure. And the woman was willing to pay for it, and
Yeah.
they turned her away.
Boner candidate number 2, there's still kindness in the world. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. This is a stick-up.
All right, boner candidate number 3 for round 1, right after this big boy news and opinioendo, brought to you by...
Come see what's new at Del Taco, like the new $1 chicken quesadilla snacker. It's loaded with freshly grilled chicken, hand-grated cheddar cheese. Del Taco, the fresh Mexican grill. Price and participation may vary.
All right, here's an update from boner candidates last week. I thought this happened in Yellowstone, but it was in Glacier National Park. An Oregon man who was caught on video harassing a bison. Oh, no, it says in Yellowstone National Park.
No.
Oh, he was arrested in Glacier.
He had a number of incidents.
Yeah.
That's why you're confused, Bill.
That's right. It was his third disturbance in less than a week at a national park.
What?
Rangers looking for Raymond Reinecke of Pendleton, Oregon, found him causing a disturbance Thursday at the historic Many Glacier Hotel at Glacier, which I've stayed in that hotel, by the way. It is wonderful.
All right.
He remains in jail pending a hearing next week and has requested a court-appointed attorney. Mr. Reinecke had been cited for drunken and disorderly conduct in the 3rd National Park Grand Teton last Saturday. He was released on $500 bail, required him to follow the law and avoid alcohol, but Yellowstone Rangers cited him 3 days later for not wearing a seatbelt and noted that he appeared intoxicated. They didn't know of his bond condition at the time, the Yellowstone Rangers who pulled him over. He was then later cited after Yellowstone visitor took pictures of him walking up to a bison in a roadway congested with stopped cars and waving his arms. The animal charged him a couple of times. And then he went up to Glacier National Park and caused a ruckus there. He was
causing trouble at national parks.
He's finally now behind bars, awaiting charges, I believe, in Montana at Glacier National Park.
But like in a span of how long? Like
3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh my hell!
He was looking for trouble.
Yeah. Well, he found it.
Oh.
Rick Genest, known as Zombie Boy, for his head-to-toe tattoos, modeling clothing by designer Thierry Mugler. He was known for being in the Lady Gaga 2011, the video for the song Born This Way.
Mm-hmm.
He was only 32. He has died in Montreal. And if you see a picture of him, you'll know, you've probably seen him before. Dulcedo Management, which represented him, confirmed his death on their Facebook page on Thursday, but gave no further details immediately. The company later told People magazine that the death occurred at his apartment in the Plateau Mont Royal neighborhood. And apparently, at first, well,
there's some dispute as to what happened.
He either jumped or fell from his apartment balcony, I think. There are those who say he probably jumped.
But his family's saying.
No, he didn't, yeah. 11 children so famished they looked like third world refugees, according to the sheriff in New Mexico, but they weren't found in an underdeveloped country. They were discovered in a remote New Mexico compound where an underground trailer kept them hidden from the outside world. The only food we saw were a few potatoes and a box of rice in this filthy trailer, said Taos County Sheriff Jerry Hogriff. But what was most surprising and heartbreaking was when the team located a total of 5 adults and 11 children that looked like third world country refugees, not only with no food or fresh water, but with no shoes, personal hygiene, and basically nothing for clothing but dirty rags. Authorities were tipped off to the scene when someone forwarded a message believed to be from a third party. The message said, "We are starving, we need food and water." After executing a search warrant, officers found the 11 children ranging in age from 1 to 15, along with 3 gaunt women believed to be their mothers. The 3 women were taken into custody. Authorities also arrested 2 heavily armed men, Lucas Morton and Siraj Wahaj. They had all kinds of weapons and bullets, and one of them was wanted. There was a warrant out for him for the abduction of his 3-year-old son. He was booked with no bond. And so they're not. It's not clear what the relationship is among all of these people. Although it appears that the heavily armed men were responsible for keeping those women and those kids in place where they were. Utah air has reached orange range.
Oh, look at it.
It's unhealthy.
UCARE spokesperson Tom Carter said this summer's air quality has been concerning. Not only does Utah have the typical summer ozone with particulate matter that's alarming, but there is more particulate matter due to wildfires. PM 2.5 is the potentially dangerous, means that there are potentially dangerous small particles in the air we breathe. Treat it as an inversion, he said. Stay inside.
Yeah, stay inside if you can.
Don't. The tour of Utah. What are these?
Yeah.
Now
because it's bad. It is bad that there's fire smoke
in St.
all the way down there.
All the way down there. Huh?
Oh.
Man.
And what are they gonna? Man, that's gonna be hard. Mm-hmm. They'll do it
because there's no. At least this week, anyway. There's no end in sight this week. There's no major, weather pattern change, so it's just going to sit over here, and the air will get worse and worse.
A Provo man was arrested Saturday after allegedly pulling a hatchet out of the back of his van during an altercation, which led to him being held at gunpoint until the cops arrived. According to a probable cause statement released by Utah County Sheriff, the victim of the assault stated that 55-year-old Galen Williams pulled too far into a crosswalk.
Well, he shouldn't have
with
done
his
that.
van.
Well, I can see why you'd want to.
Heated words were exchanged. Mr. Williams then pulled into a parking lot to confront the man he was having words with. The victim, the victim's father ran over, pushed the car door shut. Mr. Williams then allegedly punched the victim's father in the face, drove to a different part of the parking lot and pulled out a hatchet from the back of his van. Well, the father, who'd been punched in the face, had a gun. He was armed, and so when Mr. Williams pulled the hatchet out of his van, he said, "No, you don't."
He brought a hatchet to a gunfight? You never bring a hatchet to a gun.
He didn't know. If he'd known it was going to be a gunfight.
And that's why you don't ever get in these confrontations with people, road rage stuff. You never know what the other guy has a gun or not.
You don't know what the other crazy person is, but it's fascinating that it started because he pulled into a crosswalk too far. Yeah.
That's
a reason that you want to have a physical confrontation with somebody.
I never flip people off anymore in traffic. Never.
You do around the office.
Well, yeah, but that's different. The city of Austin, Texas, is thinking of changing its name.
What's wrong with Austin?
Founder Stephen F. Austin was a
the $6 million man.
No, not that guy.
Thank you.
Was a pro-slaver.
Oh.
They're not going to change the name of Austin.
Stephen F. Austin was known as the father of Texas, fought to defend slavery, and saw it as vital to the city's sugar and cotton production. He believed if slaves were emancipated, they would turn into vagabonds and a nuisance and a menace. The Austin City name is up for secondary review, meaning it requires more analysis by council members. I wouldn't be so sure. It's a pretty damn liberal city.
Are they going to name it to City McCity?
I think they'll look at the cost of doing this.
I mean, we've got the Austin city limits, all of the signage. We're going to have to change.
We printed up the labels already. I'm sorry.
Austin has already renamed streets named after Robert E. Lee.
Wow.
Streets are different.
And Jefferson Davis.
Yeah. Streets are a little easier than.
I say go for it, Austin.
City name.
Change it.
All right. Weather traffic.
Well, Bill kind of did the bad air. That's mostly what we're dealing with as far as weather is concerned. And it won't be terribly hot today, 90 for a high.
Oh, they're thinking of changing the name of it to Weirdsville.
Oh, I'd vote for that.
Weather brought to you by, for all your car's big O no's, there's always big O yes, like getting great deals on the best tire brands. Right now, save $100 on sets of 4 Big O brand tires with paid installation. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Traffic, so the biggest issue today is that new split, I-15 northbound in Lehi. If you want to exit SR-92, you need to stay to the right of the split, or you're headed all the way to Salt Lake before you can turn around. And
oh, come on up.
I mean, maybe that's appealing to you, but maybe it'll make you late for work. So don't do that. That's about the only incident so far. No accidents being reported. You can let us know if you see something, though. 33986. The Tour of Utah welcomes the world's best cyclist to America's toughest stage race course, going on now. Details at tourofutah.com.
Here's boner candidate number 3. This is a stick-up. Detectives in North Carolina say that they're seeking a teenager who robbed a 9-year-old's lemonade stand at gunpoint.
Oh.
The Union County Sheriff's Office said Sunday that the stick-up appeared to, the stick-up happened near a traffic roundabout in Monroe, about 30 miles southeast of Charlotte. Deputies say the young drink vendor, the lemonade stand kid, reported that a male teenager with a camouflage hat, a black shirt, placed a black handgun on his stomach and said, "Give me all your cash," and then fled on foot. Sheriff spokesman Tony Underwood says the stick-up man got less than $20 in cash. Authorities found a camouflage hat, a black BB gun, and a stolen metal tin in some nearby woods. Deputies believe the suspect left a bicycle in the brush for his getaway. So he threw down
He planned it out.
He threw down all of his stuff and jumped on a bicycle and took off. Boner candidate number 3. This is a stick-up.
All right, there you go. Let's review the first two and vote.
Boner candidate number 1 was, so that's why California is on fire. Now, I thought it was because of their bad environmental policies. They're pumping water into the ocean when they could be using it to fight the fire. That's what our president says. But no, the reason that California is on fire, according to Pastor Kevin Swanson, is that California has a long history of supporting gay people.
Of
and
course.
This is God's punishment.
Although apparently Redding is Trump country. So.
This makes more sense than the president tweeting that they're pumping the water into the ocean. Boner candidate number 2, there is still kindness in the world. A Walmart Subway cashier steps in when the nail salon refuses this wheelchair-bound woman. They said, "We're not going to paint your nails. You're too shaky." But this Walmart cashier saw it happen and said, "You come on over here. I'll paint your nails." And Boner candidate number 3, this is a stick-up.
All right, there you go. This is round 1 of your boner voting. You've got to decide of these 3 candidates which one is the worst and therefore most deserving to go forward to boner fights and get the chance to become boner of the day. Pick your contender for round 1. Better hurry. You only got 4 minutes to do it. 1, 2, or 3. Remember the candidate number that you think should win. Put that number in the message of a text. That's all we need in the message. Just that number. And text that to 33986. You can call 877-602-9696 or go to x96.com and look for the box that says Boner Voting August 6 and vote there. All right, you've only got 4 minutes. Let's go. This is round 1.
Stay tuned for a 1-hour nonstop music wingding right after Radio from Hell on X96.
I don't know how it happened, but somewhere along the line, a rumor started that I hate kids. Well, it began to reflect poorly upon this morning show. Not just me, but on this morning show and on this radio station.
Yep.
So in order to combat this horrible, horrible rumor that I really, really hate kids, I've decided that it's time for a public service message every Friday at this time called Just for Kids. And I do this because I'm a role model. Hi, kids. It's me, your role model, Kerry Jackson. You know, the guy you want to grow up to be. Sorry we have to do this, but I got to talk to you about a new high that's going around. Now, on the street, they're calling it chugging the udder.
Huh?
Tipping the teat, lapping the lactate, pastures new, chasing old Bessie, or riding the White River. Yes, kids, I'm talking about this new high.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, you should never, never try to drink an entire plastic jug of milk in the space of an hour. Never do that.
Don't do that?
Now, I'm talking the vitamin D milk, not the 2% or the low fat. All right.
The strong stuff.
And it's got to be the real thing. It can't be that lactate. Don't ever drink an entire plastic jug of milk in the space of an hour, okay? Now, some say that it creates a kind of euphoria, kind of like the time I drank too much Jägermeister. I mean, woo. I was messed up. Now, others say that the human body cannot possibly digest that much lactose in an hour, and it will just make you vomit. Be careful of those people, kids. Those people are called scientists. And as our president has made very clear, scientists cannot be trusted. Besides, they just want to keep this secret all to themselves. So never drink a gallon of jug in the space of an hour, because when you chase old Bessie, nobody wins. This is a message from me to you, kids.
Radio from Hell with Kerry Jackson, Bill Allred, and Gina Barberi on X96.
All right, time to award round one of your boner voting.
And round one of the boner voting is brought to you in part by banh mi.
What?
It's a sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Vietnamese
Doesn't
sandwich.
sound like a sandwich.
Delicious.
This was I had a steak banh mi.
Very good.
Oh, it was good.
And it's Monday, time for Gracie's Monday Jazz Jam with David Halliday and the Jazz Vespers Quartet from 7 to 10. Gracie stage is open to local musicians who wish to sit in with the band. No cover, and vocalists, horn players, rhythm section players are all welcome. Guitarists, bring your amps. Gracie's is 21 and older.
So, boner candidate number one. Oh, that's why California's on fire. Not because of climate change, not because of bad environmental policies, but because God is punishing California for being so favorable to gay people. That's according to Pastor Kevin Swanson.
Well, that's just science.
Sure sounds like it.
Yep.
And then boner candidate number two, there is still kindness in the world. It's a nail salon inside of a Walmart refusing to paint a cerebral palsy woman, refusing to paint her nails because her hands are too shaky. Well, this woman who worked at the Subway inside the Walmart saw this happen and said, well, that's just not nice. You come, let's buy some nail polish. You come on over here and sit down and I'll paint your nails for you.
Very nice woman.
And boner candidate number three, this is a stick-up. A teenage boy at gunpoint robbing a 9-year-old kid's lemonade stand.
Little jerk.
God. Heather won the Gracie's gift card, and the winner of the boner voting, number one. Oh, that's why California is on fire.
All right, there you go. That's the winner of round one. It's not boner of the day yet. It has to face off against the winner of round 2's boner voting. We'll do that in an hour. Well, at 8:20 is when we'll start, so that's when you need to be here for that. We'll get a winner of that round. We'll take both winners and throw them into the boner fight at 9:20. That's when you will decide boner of the day for today, August 6th.
So I was,
yes.
My wife went out of town for a couple of days camping with some derby friends of hers. And they were up in, up by Causey Reservoir, those campgrounds up in South Fork.
Do they camp with their skates on?
No, they go kayaking at Causey.
Oh.
And those campgrounds along there in South Fork in Weber County are really nice campgrounds, but they're always packed full of people in the summer.
Yep.
And it makes you not, it just makes me not want to go camping anymore. What happened to her there over the weekend, this has happened to me before. Inconsiderate people camping next to you. You know, you're camping like cheek to jowl anyway. It's crowded. The campsites are nice, but they're close by each other. So why in God's name, does somebody have to pull up with their big truck and their generator and then start playing rap music as loud as they can? It ruins the experience for everyone. And there are campground hosts, and it says clearly on the signs, quiet hours from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. or something. But that's ignored.
The camp host didn't come over,
and apparently the camp host didn't.
Because I would think you'd be bugging the camp host too.
And apparently they didn't come and help or do anything. The only way that this got resolved is it was the next day. They were playing not rap music this time, but boy, my wife hates reggae. Reggae music, really loud. And another car came in, a big white muscle car came in the night before, and they just kept revving their engine for some reason. At 2 o'clock in the morning. And so finally this all stopped because the next day someone came who was apparently the matriarch of this group. Somebody's mother.
Oh, grandma's here.
Yeah, or grandma, and said, "You're not being very nice neighbors. Let's turn this music down." And they okay, because she was because she was their mother or their grandmother. But why do they do this? And I don't understand. It's like I went to a swimming pool on Saturday with my daughter, and for some reason there was hardly anybody there. It was just not crowded at all. I thought there were going to be a lot of people there. But there were 4, I'd say, preteen girls who did nothing but scream at each other for 2 hours.
Scream at each other fighting or scream at each other?
No, just having fun.
Oh.
Now, that's okay. I understand you want to have fun. But they're just screaming things at each other hardly anybody there. There was an adult there who was in charge of them. If it were I, and I'm the adult there, and my kids are screaming for 2, I'd be going, hey, kids, come here for a second.
Hope.
Come here for a second. Come here. Just let's hold it down. I know you're having fun, but need to hold it down a little bit. There are other people here.
Yeah. Well, you're a responsible adult.
Just hold it, but people don't do it. They don't do it. How many times do you go to a restaurant and there's some kid acting out and being, and just being and ruin the dining experience? How many? We used to go to Lake Powell every summer, and inevitably, there are all these little coves you can pull into. We'd pull into a cove and get all set, and inevitably somebody would come into the cove next to us with a big power boat and play loud music all night, going woo all night.
Well, Bill, I think you're just jealous you weren't having as much fun as they were.
Yeah.
People are the worst.
It's just beyond me.
And there's too many of them.
There's too many people.
I'm going with Thanos on this. I'm starting to think Thanos was onto something.
No kidding.
Too many people.
Too many people.
Just get rid of half of them and we'll be great.
It's like the incident with the crosswalk and the guy pulling out the hatchet and the other guy has a gun. What in the hell? Just back off, people.
We've all lost our minds. Now, I can't speak to the other instances that you're talking about, but as far as camping goes, I thought that was the whole point of going camping,
the
was
quiet,
to get away.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, to the quiet.
And too often it does happen that everybody's trying to be quiet, and there's one group
that's ruining it.
That's just. Now I've been in.
We came up here to party.
Yeah, we've been in situations like that where the campground host has come, but a lot of times it's an old man and an old woman, you know, and that if people want to give them a hard time, they're not going to, you know, do much about it. But the campground host has come around and said, you need to hold it down, and then they will kind of hold it. But then you can hear them grumbling. Oh, you're just having a, you know. Good God, is there no sense of awareness of what's going on?
Someone in the chat room says the guy at the pulpit at church yesterday said we need a new plague because there's too many people. Good Lord.
Yay.
That's a little much.
No, I like it. I'm pro plague.
No, I do agree with that there is too many people. I don't know if Thanos' way about getting there is the way, but
this is why you stay at your house.
That's why I stay at my house. That's why I didn't have any kids. There's too many people.
That's why, and it's made me kind of wary about going camping ever, unless you can, if you really plan it and it's kind of in the off season when you know there are not going to be a lot of people there.
That's why when we went up to Flathead River last year, we had a really great campsite and we had it to ourselves, and it was peaceful and lovely. I want to go back and Joe remembers the number. I want number 9 because just the way it's situated, there was nobody around.
And why was there nobody around?
There were the campground was full, but just it was situated in a way that it was kind of off on its own side, and we want number 9 at the Flathead River.
You know, the campgrounds, like for instance down at Capitol Reef in Torrey, around Torrey.
Yeah,
they're really nice, but when they're full, you're just really close by each other, which is kind of terrible anyway. But even when people are being considerate, it's still a little bit of a hassle.
Now, I will admit that sitting by a campfire out in the woods, I like to listen to Dark Side of the Moon, but I don't crank it because the way that the acoustics in the woods work, you don't need to.
No.
It can be on just on your phone even, and it's already amplified because of the way that the woods and the great outdoors works acoustically. You don't need to crank it up to hear it.
I'm the same way when I'm at a campfire with the Mark Maron's podcast. I don't crank it, but I listen to him complain while he has famous guests.
Geek News coming up.
Yeah,
I have a Mark Maron related story.
Oh.
And I will tell you.
I assume you have in Geek News also coming up Patrick Stewart?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Traffic, we've got a crash eastbound I-215 approaching I-15 in Murray. The left lane and both shoulders are blocked. And just a reminder about the new freeway split I-15 northbound in Lehi. If you want to exit at SR92, you will need to be on the right side of the split or you're going to be stuck headed north all the way into Salt Lake County. That's traffic.
Thank you very much. All right, we do have Bill Frost on the way to talk about TV and what's on this week right after this.
You better get your ass to the X96 Toyota Big Ass Show, Saturday, September 1st at the Gallivan Center.
I thought we could do this for an X poll sometime, but I'll bring it up now just since we're talking about it. Festus came home last night. He's like, Mom, this is an exciting day.
Mom.
I said, what? He's like, Mom. I got my first rider. Rider is
It's a backstage conditions.
What things you want backstage? Like
no brown M&Ms.
Yeah, like Mariah Carey has to have peach-colored roses in her room, and I said, so what did you ask for? And he said, Red Bull. I said, that's it? That's all you asked for?
I told you can't have Red Bull.
I said, you don't even drink Red Bull. He's like, well, I didn't know what to ask for. I'm like, you can ask for. He thought that's what you're supposed to ask for.
Gina, that's what he told you he asked for. What he asked for was, I'd like an e-cigarette, some e-cigarettes, and some weed, and a lot of vodka.
But I thought it'd be a fun expo sometime to do. What would you put in your rider? What would
my backstage rider?
Yeah, like I have to have all white towels with scented rose water. I mean, those are the kind of things people ask for. Why what?
Why would you put all white towels with scented rose water?
Those are the kind of things people ask for.
Yeah, but why?
Because
you can.
I wouldn't.
Of course you would.
I would put I don't think I would just say I would like it to be clean and orderly and maybe a fruit tray.
But maybe we do that for an expo, see what people would want for their backstage.
The guy who has to have it stapled precisely in the top left corner on an angle and not flat would really think that he would just want things in an orderly way?
Richie, are the pages ever stapled correctly? No. And when was the last time I ever said anything about it?
Okay.
When was the last time I ever said anything about how they were stapled?
No, but here's the point.
I once commented...
You like things a certain way.
Well,
so
sure.
if you have a writer, you would say, I like things stapled this way. You'd spell it all out.
So entertain it. Have fun with
because when he's doing the news live on stage, he will need it prepared backstage for it.
Yeah.
It's got to be done a certain way.
I give up. I would not do it. I've given up on that sort of thing.
I agree.
I've given up on that sort of thing because I know that the people who work behind the scenes are mostly clods. Take that how you will.
On X96.
Is this sponsored, Gina?
Yeah, of course. Haster Games in Midvale. Coming up on August 10th at Haster Games, pick up Commander 2018 decks and the board game Azul, which recently won the Game of the Year award, the most prestigious board game award. Browse online at hastergames.com.
Here he is, Bill Frost, TV writer extraordinaire, writing a TV column for Slug Magazine.
Yeah.
New one out yet?
There's a new one out, slugmag.com and billfrost.tv. It's all about some Canadian shows you may or may not be aware of.
I can't get the Canadian shows, can I?
Move to Canada.
Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm.
I explain how to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's where you go, billfrost.tv. billfrosttv.net. No, billfrost.tv.
.tv.
Yeah. I don't know why I never can remember that completely. But you'll also find the TV Town podcast there.
Yes.
And you'll also find Magda Vega music there.
Yeah. And
I'm sorry, I got to take you to task, though.
Okay.
Because you mentioned this show, The Sinner.
Yes.
Yeah. And way to go. I watched the first episode of season 2 and went, oh, this is pretty intriguing.
It is.
And then I said to myself, I better check out season 1, which I found on Netflix. I like it. I binge watched it over the weekend.
Season 1?
Yeah.
You did? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I thought it was pretty good.
It's a short season, like what, 8 episodes?
8 or 10, I think.
Yeah.
And it's Jessica Biel, who's the producer of the show, and she was the star of episode 1
of the first season. Yeah.
She's Mrs. Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, and she's not bad, but try as they might. You know, she's in prison. She's committed this horrible crime. And they try to make her look ugly, and they can't. I mean, I'm serious.
I have the same problem.
Who do you try to make look ugly?
So was that the complaint in here? Jessica Biel they
she's
couldn't
too
ugly her
beautiful?
up?
Yeah, no, just that you got me hooked on this show.
Oh, well,
Pisses
you're
me-
welcome.
That's the whole point of his segment.
Well, I don't.
That is the entire reason.
I don't
he's
care for
here.
having. I just got stuck in front of the TV most of the weekend. With okay, I'll watch another episode.
Okay, well, I'm just glad you heard something and went for it.
Bill Pullman is the star of the first season and the second season.
Yeah, he's the detective investigating these things.
Yeah, and he's pretty good, but I would say he's the world's most apologetic actor. it's like he's always apologizing.
I'm
Columbo?
I'm going to watch this season because you're going to get him going up against Carrie Coon. Is that her name?
Yes.
Because she's coming in as a cult leader.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
Anything with a cult leader is good by me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention last week, it slipped by me because of things. Venture Brothers, new season premiered last night.
Last night.
Yeah, it's because it premiered at midnight and my calendar cut off at, it was technically Monday. So sorry about that, but it's available out there.
It's
you
out
can
there.
get it. Very funny. Tonight, Better Call Saul, season 4.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's tonight.
That is tonight.
Okay.
Now
Yes.
here's a couple of sad things about that.
Yes.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But Michael McKean,
No more Chuck?
Well, we don't know.
we do.
It's pretty clear
do?
he was a
Because
goner.
there was a Comic-Con trailer that they released, and they're at his funeral, or
okay.
the whole thing. He is not on the show, so that's sad.
He couldn't be in flashbacks.
He might be in flashbacks,
He
but I
should
doubt
have
it.
won an Emmy for that.
That's the second sad thing, is
Yes.
that he did not win an Emmy for his performance as Chuck on that show, and he was incredible.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
He was better than Bob Odenkirk.
Yes.
So they've already picked it up for season 5, so the story will continue with Bob Odenkirk slowly becoming Saul Goodman.
Mike Ehrmantraut.
And he's
Jonathan Banks.
Yeah, he's still there.
Oh, yeah.
And also Gus Fring.
Gus Fring. Giancarlo Esposito.
All your favorites. And followed by the premiere of a really weird-looking show. A show, I've seen some of it. I'm not sure what's going on. Lodge 49.
Now, Patton Oswalt was going on about this show this weekend on Twitter,
All right.
talking about how he's seen the first 3 episodes and he loved it.
Got a good review somewhere. Oh, the New York Times gave it a good review.
Starring Wyatt Russell, son of Kurt and Goldie.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the Harry Lebowski-looking star of this show.
It kind of reminds me, the trailers I've seen for it, that like it's a little Lebowski-esque.
Yeah, I've heard that one. I'm not sure if that completely applies.
And see, I can't really tell what it's about.
It's about a good-for-nothing surfer bro.
Okay.
Played by Wyatt Russell. He used to have a surf shop with his father. Father's dead,
All right.
so he's a bit aimless.
Okay.
And he happens, through a weird set of circumstances, he happens upon this fraternal lodge.
Secret society.
Yeah, and the guy welcomes him in, sort of, like, keeps his arm's distance. And it takes a few episodes to even, it's very slow.
Okay.
It's very slow moving, but
You're
Wyatt
not
Russell.
selling it for me.
I know, it's weird. It's weird.
Okay.
If you
There,
like,
that sells it.
if you like weird stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Wyatt Russell, I believe, was originally a hockey player who wasn't really looking to be an actor,
Oh.
and he had an injury. He said, "Okay, well, I guess I'll go into acting like Dad, and Mom." Season 3 of Wrecked on TBS.
Which I'm surprised.
Me too.
I
What
think
is that show?
It's about a group of people who have a plane wreck on an island, and they keep going. Maybe we're going to escape the island. I believe the previous season they were on a yacht. They thought they were escaping, but no, that went awry. And now they're on an island of a guy who likes to hunt people.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's a funny show.
It's going to go from one island trope to another.
This is the the drop that I have about risotto in a tube.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
from that. That's from Wrecked. So Rhys Davies is on it. What's his name?
Rhys
Rhys Davies. Yeah.
A lot of funny people on this show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm surprised it's back for another season.
Because I think you and I are the only ones watching it.
That's what I was going to say. Carrie and Bill are the only ones watching it.
And also a new reality show called right in the same vein, Castaways on ABC on Tuesday night. Bunch of people, we're putting you on, we're playing Gilligan's Island / Lost with you.
I was going to say, don't we have this show?
Yeah, it says it's a revolutionary series, but
isn't that Survivor?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I think we have this show.
But this is under the premise like you're really lost on the island. Yeah,
really lost.
They call it revolutionary.
They're still following him around with the camera. They're not really.
Yeah, we have this show.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Coming up on Friday, the controversial Netflix series Insatiable, produced by Alyssa Milano, also co-starring, about a young woman, overweight young woman who's bullied in high school, spends the summer after an accident with her mouth wired shut, comes back skinny and hot, and now is out plotting revenge upon everyone who wronged her.
Did she come back as Alyssa Milano?
No.
Okay.
Alyssa Milano is a mom or something in this thing. And the outrage was like, you should not even air this. You should just shut this down now, because why does she have to get skinny to get revenge? Is fat shaming.
But there's more
Fat
to
people
it than
can get
that,
revenge.
right?
Well, there's way more to it than that.
And people are upset. This is another one of those instances where they're upset about it before they've even seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the idea of it.
That's the same. That's the way they are with our show.
Yeah.
People are upset with it without even hearing it.
No, and then they hear it, and then they're
and then they go,
yeah,
whatever. They're not harmless.
So it's a dark comedy.
I won't watch it anyway.
It's probably not for you.
Because I look at it and I go, Jessie, because she was Jessie on a Disney.
Yeah. And Fear the Walking Dead season 4.
Yay.
On it's season 4 summer premiere on Sunday on AMC.
I'll watch that. I don't watch The Walking Dead anymore, but I kind of liked Fear the Walking Dead, but I let that go too because there was something. But I got caught up on some of the episodes and was really enjoying it, so I'll probably watch the
It was a good season this past go around.
Yeah.
Followed by Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick.
He got all of his jobs back.
Yep.
All of the jobs.
All of them.
He's all of that has been forgiven.
He stayed in his bunker long enough, apparently.
Which wasn't that long.
It wasn't. It was like a month and a half, I think.
Well, I think people did look into all of the charges, the allegations, and
well, Chloe Dykstra says that she wasn't called as part of this investigation.
Seems odd, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Also on Sunday on HBO, season 4 of Ballers, The Rock's show.
Amazing.
Here's another show that I didn't.
It's Entourage meets sports.
Yeah. It's funny. The funny part is Rob Corddry is in here. So when they have scenes together, they're very funny together.
Were I to watch it, it would be for that reason.
Yeah, but the rest of it is it's really hard to be a sports ball guy.
Yeah.
And no, don't care. Exactly. And followed by the season 3 premiere of Insecure, starring Issa Rae.
I hear very good things about it.
It's pretty funny.
I got a couple of friends who just love that show, and
it's an odd pairing with Ballers.
Yeah. If there weren't too many shows, I might watch it.
Yeah. Maybe eventually you'll get around to checking that out.
Yeah.
And I should mention, coming up in a few weeks, TV10 Podcast is going to be presenting Sharknado at Broovies.
There you go.
August 19th, 6 p.m., Broovies. Free on a big screen. You might want to have some drinks for this. It's the final one.
The last one.
Yeah, now we have time travel involved.
What?
Traveling sharks?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Sharks from the past?
In the future.
Going into the future.
Future sharks?
Yeah, future sharks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll bet they're meaner than ever.
They are, yes.
Someone wants to know how they can access season 4 of the latest season of Schitt's Creek. Because I think it's only season 3 on Netflix.
Yeah.
Because it's on
Pop
TV.
Yeah,
first.
I have to tell this to people all the time. It's not a Netflix original. It's on. It actually originates on a network.
Yeah.
You might want to try the Pop on Demand or the Pop app. I believe there's an app out there. It seems like every network has an app. I'm not sure on that one. But I'll look into it. And follow me on Twitter, Bill_Frost.
It's already too much trouble.
Yeah,
I'll just wait for it to come on Netflix.
If I find it, look for it.
I tried to watch something on Crackle. I forget what it was.
Sorry.
What a mess
Oh, yeah,
that thing.
They wonder why it's never taken off.
It's got so many technical glitches, and it'll stop and drop out. And
Yeah.
Hulu does that sometimes too. Hulu's not the greatest,
but not as bad as Crackle.
But Crackle is just awful.
All right, thank you, Bill Frost. All right.
Traffic. Crash eastbound 126 south at 1300 west, blocking the right shoulder. Lots of emergency vehicles on the scene of a crash eastbound I-215 just after Redwood Road. Only one right lane open. Crash northbound I-15 approaching the I-80 interchange. Cars are blocking the 3 left lanes but are being moved to the left. And let's see, crash southbound I-15 near 26 South and Woods Cross. Incident management is moving the cars from the center lanes off the freeway but causing slowage in that area. Elevate your summer at Snowbird, offering cool air mountain getaways with stay and play packages that include lodging, breakfast, all-day activity pass. Details at snowbird.com.
All right, Boners round 2 coming up. Here are your candidates. Boner candidate number 1, oops. Boner candidate number 2, sorry, ma'am, your card has expired. And boner candidate number 3, I'm sure there was a good reason for beating a naked woman.
All right. Round 2 of your boner voting coming up, along with Big Boy News and Opinioendo after these.
You've seen the housing costs go up, interest rates go up. They have been going up, but home values have been really climbing. So
it's a good time to sell your home.
Well, or use the equity in your home. Use the equity in your home to maybe do home improvements, things like that. Rand Life can help you figure this out. Your home is probably now worth more than you thought it was. You haven't checked lately. So go to the loan officers at Rand Life. They can help strategize with you to find the best way to use the equity in your home for your financial goals. But with the economy going this strong right now, you can do a lot. So if you bought a home just as recently as a year ago, you probably have equity in it. Never hurts to check. Talk to a professional like the people at Rand Life. It's a great time to capitalize on your investment. Rand Life's phone number is 801-478-4500. That's 801-478-4500. Call that number, discuss with them how you might use the equity in your home, or go to randlife.com.
Diplo in concert Thursday, August.
X96. Call 877-602-9696 or text us at 33986. Message and data rates apply.
All right, remember that information. You're going to need it here in a bit. Well, in about 15 or 20 minutes from now, because this is round 2 of your boner voting. Presenting to you 3 news stories that are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. You're going to listen to all 3 of these, and you're going to decide which one of them deserves to go forward to Boner Fight, to get a chance to become Boner of the Day. If it wins here, it's just the winner of round 2, and that's an honor in itself. But it's not Boner of the Day yet. It has to beat the winner of round 1 in the Boner voting. We did that an hour ago. So we'll take both the winners and throw them into Boner Fight at 9:20. That's when you'll decide Boner of the Day. So pick your contender for round 2 right now. 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, then you'll vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive.
I can't buy it. Got to win it. Radio from Hell boner t-shirt courtesy of Excel Automotive Repair, Radio from Hell's official auto mechanics. Don't buy a lemon. Try Excel Automotive's $50 bumper-to-bumper used car checkover before you buy. Limit 2 cars per $50.
Boner candidate number 1. Oops. Hundreds of people had their homes foreclosed on.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
After software used by Wells Fargo incorrectly denied them mortgage modifications. Now, Wells Fargo is going through a whole raft of troubles anyway, but they revealed the issue in a regulatory filing this week and said they set aside $8 million to compensate customers affected by the glitch. The same filing also disclosed that Wells Fargo is facing formal or informal inquiries or investigations from unnamed government agencies over how the company purchased federal low-income housing tax credits. The document states the probes are linked to the financing of low-income housing developments, but does not offer further details. Reuters reported news of the investigations and mishandled mortgage notifications. Wells Fargo said the computer error affected certain accounts that were undergoing the foreclosure process between April 2010 and October 2015, when the issue we corrected the issue, we fixed it. About 625 customers incorrectly denied a loan modification so that they could keep their homes. And even though they were qualified according to the filing, about 625 of them lost their homes.
Wow.
Because of a computer glitch. Oops. Boner candidate number 1. Boner candidate number 2. I'm sorry, ma'am, but your card is expired. An 80-year-old grandmother was jailed for the first time in her life because she had a small amount of marijuana in her home, but her Michigan medical marijuana card had expired.
What?
She's 80.
Dolores Saltzman.
She's not hurting anybody.
And her son Mark said cannabis saved her life. It worked up her appetite when she was sick, helped her heal after surgeries, and eases her pain from ongoing health conditions.
Let her have it.
They are disturbed that a deputy jailed her overnight for using her medicine. After I smoke, I go down to a 1 pain-wise, said Dolores Saltzman, who's 80. Before I smoke, I would say, well, I'm an 8 pain-wise.
And she has a prescription.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Your card has expired.
Jeez.
She has arthritis, diverticulitis, muscle and bone aches.
And she's old.
She says cannabis keeps her moving and making her art. She likes to do art. Cannabis saved my life. You know, I had a bad bleed about 4 years ago, and Mark took care of me, and I started getting the cannabis, and I'm better.
That is not a woman that is a threat to anything or anybody.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Your card has expired. Her medical marijuana card. It had just expired, too.
Gotcha.
Boner candidate number 2. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. Listen, I'm sure there's a good reason for beating a naked woman.
All right, boner candidate number 3 for round 2. Coming up after this, big boy news and opinioendo brought to you by
Feldman's Deli, featuring corned beef, pastrami, mustard, pickles, imported from New York City. Now serving breakfast and lunch Tuesday through Saturday. You can plan ahead.
They're not open today.
Dinner Thursday through Saturday, featuring local live music Friday and Saturday nights, 20th East, 27th South. More information at feldmansdeli.com.
Well, this article just caught my eyes on MSN. And it says, Omarosa was feared in the White House for her vengefulness.
Vengefulness?
Now she's out to prove why.
Uh-oh.
Her book.
Yeah. Omarosa Manigault Newman, star villain on Donald Trump's reality TV show The Apprentice, worked in the Trump administration last year. Other senior staffers, even some more senior than she, were afraid of her. And when she was ousted from the administration in what the White House officials described at the time as a ruckus, there was widespread belief, or rather relief, that one of Trump world's most vengeful figures was no longer around. But Omarosa is known for her second acts.
I'll be back.
And once more, she's sparking headlines inside the administration. Her new book, Unhinged, an insider's account of the Trump White House, is being viewed as an act of petty revenge and yet another effort to profit off the Trump era by dishing damaging internal dirt, whether accurate or concocted. So that's the problem with her book.
That you don't believe her?
Well, how much of it do you want to believe?
She fast and loose with the facts? Well, you learn that working for the White House.
Yep. You learn it from Trump, as she did on The Apprentice.
No. But she'll tell you that everything she says is exactly accurate and true. So you have to decide for yourself. I'll read it.
I mean, I'll want to believe the bad stuff because that's just where I'm at with all this.
Lance Bass tried to buy the Brady Bunch house. He thought he'd bought
Talk
the
about
home.
second act.
Just that sentence makes me laugh.
He thought he'd bought the home featured in the opening and closing scenes of the Brady Bunch. He even invited Maureen McCormick, who played Marcia, over for dinner.
Marcia.
Gets weirder.
But NSYNC singer Bass posted on Instagram that the deal fell through.
Aww.
He was heartbroken to learn a corporate buyer wants the house at any cost. Did he go into outer space, Lance Bass?
Oh, yeah.
He did, didn't he? He paid to go up in a Russian.
He did.
In a Russian.
Why do you remember that?
I don't know. I mean, he paid $1 million.
And he should save his money.
I think he's
because he hasn't done much since the NSYNC.
My guess is he don't need to.
I don't know.
He had plenty of money.
Joey Fat One is scraping by.
Well, he's got plenty of money being an NSYNC, and he probably invested well.
You think the best of Lance Bass?
I do. I like to. Friend of the program, Trevin Wood. You remember Trevin?
Yes.
I retweeted Trevin.
I just saw Trevin last week. He came here to get a prize, and I didn't see him in the building, but he chased me down the street to say hello. For the second time in 2 weeks, a Boy Scout went missing and is now reunited with his family. 15-year-old Kyler Wood was reported missing Friday when he fell behind biking with his Boy Scout troop in Moab. His dad, Trevin Wood, said it was terrifying realizing that his son was lost 5 hours away from him in Salt Lake City. He said, I felt like I was going to have a heart attack. I just went into a panic and froze and figured out what to do and what needed to be done and what could I do, who could I contact. But fortunately, Kyler, his son, was found early Saturday morning after a helicopter flew over the Gemini Bridges Trail where he had been biking with his scout group. He just got separated from the group, fell behind, got separated from the group, and he spent the night by himself, decided to ride his bike back on the trail he'd come in on, and that's what he was doing when the helicopter spotted him. Yeah. So he was pretty smart. Even though he fell behind, he thought, well, I'll go back the way I came and I'll be fine. But it got too late, so he had to spend the night, and then the next morning he was off. But fortunately, everything went well, and he's been reunited with his family. One of the state's last movie rental stores is in Bountiful. Top Hat Video.
Really?
It's still there?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Lona Earl has never watched a movie on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu. I'm one of those who has never streamed, ever, she said.
It's nothing to be proud of, Lona.
Sure it is when she's got 30,000 movies at her disposal right there at Top Hat Video.
There they are.
There used to be several Top Hat videos, didn't there?
The Earls own Top Hat Video in Bountiful. which is a sort of a blast from the past. It's a traditional video store full of DVDs, Blu-rays.
Do they want you to
4K.
be kind and please rewind?
Rewind your Blu-ray.
Yeah, rewind your DVD.
I always do.
Growing up, we'd come in here all the time, said Jessica Wilson Nish, a bountiful native who now lives in New York City.
New York City.
And every time I come back to stay with my parents, I say, is Top Hat still open?
Can we go rent a video?
And they're doing well. They do well. They say, the managers or the owners of Top Hat say, we have people who are so devoted that they say, if you ever close this store, we'll kill you.
Well, that's a little extreme.
It does seem a little extreme, but that's how.
Because in Bountiful, they like to pretend it's 20 years ago.
There's nothing more comforting than a nice warm VHS tape.
They survived the Blockbuster takeover of the video industry, and they're still there, and they say they're thriving. So good for them.
Good for them.
Let's see. A supporter of President Trump had threatened to shoot CNN reporters Brian Stetler and Don Lemon during an on-air call with C-SPAN on Friday.
Great. Here it comes.
The caller's threat comes amid repeated attacks on the media from Trump, who has described the press as the enemy of the people and fake news. The caller, identified by C-SPAN host Greta Bronner as Dawn from State College, Pennsylvania, where I lived for 3 years, had phoned into her show on Friday to express support for Trump's criticism of the media. It all started when Trump got elected, the caller said, before falsely accusing the reporters of labeling all Trump supporters as racist. Stetler and Lemon don't even know us. They don't even know these Americans out there, and they're calling us racist because we voted for Trump. Listen, not all people who voted for Trump are racist. Most of them are, but not all of them.
Well, at the very least, Bill, they're okay with racists.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call them all racist, but they're apparently not upset by them.
Racism and sexism wasn't a deal breaker for them.
This guy went on to say they started the war.
Who? What?
The Lemon and Stetler.
Did
and if
they?
I see him, I'm going to shoot him. Goodbye. He called. So this is the discourse that seems to be prevalent now. People wonder why are there so many more racist crimes being committed? Why are there so many angry people yelling obscene things at people of color? It's because it's the tone that's been set.
Yeah.
And it gives them, they think, permission to do that.
They're emboldened.
And I'm going to be positive about this and say this is a bump in the road, because things were going a different way for quite some time. We had same-sex marriage become the law of the land. 28 states approving medical marijuana. Things were going in a direction, a more progressive direction. And all of a sudden, it was like, wait a minute, hold on. But as I was reading an article about you remember the Gay Straight Alliance clubs at East High School and West High School in the late
80s.
It was like 1995 or so. 90s. So the students who started those, they were really maligned. The Gay Straight Alliances were groups started at these high schools. They said this is for gay students, so high school students, but also straight high school students, so we can just get together, after school, like a school club, and discuss issues and make sure that nobody gets hurt. Well, this just raised all kinds of hell. Gail Rosica was, and the school board said, no,
you can't have that.
You can't have that. As a matter of fact, we're banning all clubs because if we try to ban just one, then there'll be cries of discrimination, and we'll lose our federal funding.
Yes, you would.
So we're going to just ban all clubs, which they did for a time.
Yep.
But these students persisted, and it got me thinking. And then there were Gay Straight Alliances clubs came about, and nothing bad happened.
No.
And it got me thinking about Gail Rosica, who is the conservative voice of Utah, the ultra-conservative voice of Utah.
Eagle Forum.
The Eagle Forum. She has never won. She always loses.
Does she?
Yes. She always loses. The causes she champions, she eventually loses.
Oh, eventually loses.
Yeah. She lost. There they are. How did she feel about same-sex marriage? Oh, my God, it'll ruin the country. It'll ruin Utah. We can't have it.
Well, Prop 8 did pass.
Sorry, you lost.
Yeah.
She lost, ultimately.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
People of her ilk have been losing ultimately, and that's what got Trump elected in a lot of ways. Because that's the bump in the road. People are pushing back against that and saying, hold on, things are going too fast. We can't have trans people using the bathrooms and gay people everywhere. And what about those black people? And, it's those people, that's the bump in the road. And I hope I'm right, the wave of progressive thought in this country will wash them away.
I hope you're right.
I hope so. Sports, weather, traffic.
Let's see. Brought to you by, for all of your car's big oh no's, there's always big oh yes. Like getting great deals on the best tire brands right now. Save $100 on sets of 4 Big O brand tires with paid installation. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Utah Royals playing on Wednesday, August 8th. They'll be hosting Washington Spirit. Real Salt Lake next hosting Montreal this Saturday, the 11th. And the Tour of Utah starts today in St. George, in the lovely air that they're going to be riding through.
Isn't it a little better down there?
It's a little better in St. George, but you don't have to, once you get to Cedar City, it's bad from Cedar City.
Cedar City, yeah.
On up, smoky and terrible, and that's your weather, too. Smoky and terrible with no end in sight to that. 90 for a high today. Traffic, we've got a few incidents we need to tell you about. Crash eastbound 126 south, 1300 west, blocking the right shoulder. Eastbound I-215 just after Redwood Road, only one right lane open there. Crash northbound I-15 approaching the I-80 interchange, issues in the left 3 lanes. And a crash southbound I-15, 26 south of Woods Cross. I think that is about it, unless you want to text us something. 33986.
All right, here's boner candidate number 3. Well, I'm sure there was a good reason for beating a naked woman. A Detroit police corporal has been suspended after cell phone video emerged showing him beating a naked, unarmed, and possibly mentally ill woman inside of an emergency room triage unit as another officer and hospital security restrain her. The video shows the male officer punching the woman about a dozen times. She can be heard shouting a threat at somebody before being grabbed by one of the police officers and security staff. We just have a still from it at x96.com/live because the video is, we could show the video, but it's, even though it's blurred, it's pretty disturbing. Yeah. She can be heard shouting a threat at someone. The male officer then begins punching her. What is shown in the video is very disturbing, said Detroit Police Chief James Craig, adding that a criminal investigation has been begun. There were points where the suspect had turned her back, but the officer continued to punch, said Officer Craig, or Chief Craig. It was at that point, we have grave concerns for the officer's actions. Boner candidate number 3. Well, I'm sure there was a good reason for beating a naked woman.
Let's review the first 2 and vote.
Boner candidate number 1. Oops! Wells Fargo says hundreds of customers lost their homes because of a computer glitch. Boner candidate number 2. I'm sorry, ma'am, your card is expired. An 80-year-old grandmother who uses medical marijuana put in jail because she had a small amount of cannabis in her home and her medical prescription card had expired a few days earlier. And boner candidate number 3, well, I'm sure there was a good reason for beating a naked woman.
All right, here we go. This is round 2 of your boner voting. You've got to decide of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to move forward to boner fight and get that chance to become boner of the day. So pick your contender for round 2, 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number. Put that number, the one you think should win, in the message of a text. And text that to 33986. You can call. Cynthia is taking votes in the producer's booth, 877-602-9696. Or go to x96.com and look for the box that says Boner Voting August 6 and vote there. You've only got 4.5 minutes to do it, though, so let's go. This is round 2.
X96 gives you a 1-hour non-stop music window with John Smith, right after Radio from Hell.
I don't think I can make it into work this morning.
Bill, it's 2 a.m. What the hell's the problem? Wait a minute. You're not staying up all night watching Mary Tyler Moore on Nick at Night again, are you?
Yeah. Mare has such a great job. She works with such fun people. I just can't make it in to do the show today unless...
Unless what?
Well, if you call me right back, I could probably make it in.
Fine. I'll call you right back.
Hello.
Mary, this Lou Grant.
Oh, Mr. Grant. Mr. Grant, it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
I know what time it is, Mary. I looked at the clock the minute I ran out of scotch. Mary, I need you to do something for me for this morning's production meeting.
Really, Mr. Grant? Anything.
I need you to come in early and make coffee for the TV station brass.
Coffee, Mr. Grant.
And I need you to sharpen up a bunch of pencils, too.
Mr. Grant,
And I want you to present your idea for that WJM News Magazine show that you want to do.
I on Minneapolis? Really, Mr. Grant?
Really, Mary? And I'm going to tell the station owner that Mary Richards is the best associate news producer I've ever worked with.
Oh, Mr. Grant.
So I'll see you at the station bright and early, Mary?
Yes.
Good night, Mary.
Goodbye, Mr. Grant.
Who was that, Bill?
There is no Bill. There's only Mary. I'm sorry I woke you, Ted.
Oh, God. That's all right, Mary. Same here. I was thinking about that Eye on Minneapolis show that I'm going to anchor. Why couldn't we call it Ted Baxter's Eye on Minneapolis?
Ted, I don't think Mr. Grant would approve that.
I'll just beg him until he gives in. I'll just go, oh, come on, Lou. Please, please, Lou. Please.
And round two of the boner voting is brought to you in part by rice and beans.
And movie lovers, download the new Broovies app for Android or Apple and receive a 2-for-1 admission to Broovies' new Ogden location. Must sign up 1 hour in advance of attendance at the theater. Get showtimes at broovies.com.
So boner candidate number 1 was oops. Wells Fargo saying hundreds of customers lost their homes after a computer glitch. Boner candidate number 2, I'm sorry, ma'am, your card has expired. 80-year-old woman who uses medical marijuana put in jail for a small amount of cannabis because her card had expired just days before, as I recall in the story. And boner candidate number 3, well, I'm sure there was a good reason for beating a naked woman. A Detroit police officer caught on video pummeling a naked woman who was being restrained in a hospital. Jeez. And the chief of police in Detroit says, it's pretty hard to see that there was a good reason for this.
No, you weren't there. Yeah. You don't know.
I was afraid for my life.
Marcus won a boner T-shirt, and it was actually a pretty close vote between number 1, oops, the Wells Fargo, and number 3, pummeling the naked woman, although number 2 did pretty well as well.
So,
yeah, but the ultimate winner, I'm sure there was a good reason for beating a naked woman.
All right, there you go. There's your winner of round 2. It will go up against the winner of round 1's voting. Those 2 candidates will meet in the Boner Dome for Boner Fight at 9:20. So you better be here to decide who is Boner of the Day.
Okay.
All right. Is this sponsored?
Geek News on the Radio is always brought to you by Cabin Fever, our dear friends at Cabin Fever, reminding our college crowd to stop by for some dorm decor. Lava lamps, lunchboxes. Cabin Fever has a large selection of room decor options in the heart of Trolley Square, 5th South, 7th East. Cabin Fever, so much more than a card store.
Brand new episode of GeekShowPodcast.com available right now. The new episode is Just Like Star Wars.
Just like Star Wars.
Just like Star Wars.
It's just like Star Wars. Okay.
In that we have added more women and people of color.
Just like Star Wars.
So we got Kari and Kiki and Rebecca joined us, and yeah, it's a good time. Those women are crazy. Yes, this and right during our first episode that we were recording on Saturday, I heard a squeal. I looked over to see Shannon fanning his face and looking at his phone.
Did he have the vapors?
He was very excited.
Okay.
I think I'm going to faint.
He goes, this just in. And it was the big Star Trek convention down in Las Vegas over the weekend. They have it at the Rio Hotel every year, the first weekend in August. August, that's when you need a sweaty Star Trek fan in Vegas, don't you? And I've been meaning to go down, and I keep meaning to, and I keep forgetting. But
my Klingon makeup keeps sliding off.
But I was reading some of the updates that were coming in, and I knew Saturday was going to be the last day, and I thought they might drop a bomb like this one, and they did. And
you knew Chase Masterson would be there.
Oh, my little Chase Masterson. Anyway.
Not so little anymore.
Sorry. And they did it. They announced that, as has been rumored for months, and I have not reported on this.
Really?
Because
I had no idea.
I haven't liked any of the sources of the rumors. I did tell you a few months ago that CBS, they took a look at that Star Trek Discovery and said, well, people like the Star Trek. We should probably develop some Star Trek shows. Because our subscription to the CBS app went crazy, and then when it was done, they all went away, we noticed. Maybe we need some more Star Trek on there.
Okay.
So they have decided that Patrick Stewart will, in fact, be back.
He's got that young wife to take care of.
Yeah, pot's expensive.
And so is wine.
He is back as Captain Jean-Luc Picard in a series, a Star Trek series. Now, this is not a Next Generation reboot. This is a...
Well, he had some other career before he was the captain of the Enterprise, right?
No, this will be Jean-Luc Picard after serving on the Enterprise.
So he's not okay.
Well, we don't really know.
He's running a retirement community in space.
It could be that. It could be that.
He has a casita in space?
Yeah.
Here's the only clues that we have. So he came out on stage and he said, we're going to be doing a Captain Picard series for the CBS All Access app, the streaming app. And then he released this statement. He says, I've always been very proud to have been a part of Star Trek, but when we wrapped that final movie in the spring of 2002, wow, I truly felt my time with Star Trek had run its natural course. It is therefore an unexpected but delightful surprise to find myself excited and invigorated to be returning to Jean-Luc Picard and to explore new dimensions within him. Seeking out new life for him. See, there's kind of a clue. When I thought that life was over.
Okay.
During these past years, it's been humbling to hear how all the stories about how Next Generation brought people comfort, saw them through difficult periods of their lives, or how the example of Jean-Luc inspired so many to follow in his footsteps, pursuing science, exploration, and leadership. I feel I'm ready to return to him for the same reason. But anyway, they don't give a clue as to what the premise of the show will be.
I have an idea.
Yes.
I would like to think of it as blunt talk in space.
That's Bill Frost's idea.
Yeah. You and I
don't think that.
You and I will laugh at that. We're the only two.
So it's interesting that he's talking about a character that he didn't want to do in the first place.
Exactly.
And now it's become
He's
so
embracing
important to it. Well, he did somewhere along the line before this, but it's interesting that it goes from that to realizing how important that character is, not only to thousands of people, but to him.
I'm sure it'll be, Jean-Luc Picard, the golden years or something like that. But this also means that, the rest of the Next Generation crew could stop by for a visit.
I think we could have a crotchety old Riker, a crotchety old Jean-Luc Picard.
Sure.
A crotchety, what's his name, from Deep Space Nine?
Cisco?
Cisco. Yeah, have these crotchety
You're getting excited about
these
this.
crotchety old captains bitching at each other. Just make it like the Golden Girls, but with 3 Star Trek captains in space.
And there is more Star Trek to come. Whether it'll be, more than likely, it'll be on that app. I think they realize that the Star Trek fans will keep that thing alive for them because they did notice a huge decline. Because I shut mine off.
They don't come back for the Kevin Can Wait reruns?
Sorry.
Nope.
I shut mine off as soon as Discovery was done,
So that probably they'll do a run of Discovery, then they'll do a run of this, so you keep the app on.
Here's the thing, if you're really patient, Discovery's on Netflix now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So I paid for it and I didn't have to. But I wanted to see it now.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
So you got the Orville news too? Are you going to do that?
I don't have that, no. While we're on the Star Trek tip, I want you to listen to this. Let's see now, where is it? Here. Listen to this. Now, when you hear these sounds, you know exactly
whales
where we're at.
Those are whales, aren't they?
These sounds are iconic.
Right.
Everybody, the whoosh, the whoosh of the door, the whole.
I'm on the Enterprise.
The phaser sound, that sound. Dr. McCoy's tricorder. All those sounds, everybody knows them. Doug Grindstaff, Star Trek sound effects maestro, is dead at the age of 87.
He responsible for all that?
He created all of those sounds. He kept saying to Roddenberry, he says, do you think there's too many sounds? I think we're doing too many. I think this is over the top. And Roddenberry's like, Morris, I need sounds with everything.
This ship is so noisy.
So he would just do simple things, like Dr. McCoy's hypo, that sound, you know. That's just an air pressure valve,
Carrie, you're ruining the magic for me.
It's just things like that. But he worked on a lot of stuff. He worked on Mission Impossible, Odd Couple, Brady Bunch, Knots Landing, Falcon Crest, all the shows that he's worked on. He's been working in sound effects forever.
Now, did you not see what Frakes is, or you're not going to report it? Jonathan Frakes and the Orville?
He's just directing an episode.
Well, you know who's going to be in it. Marina Sirtis.
Well, she was on set. We don't know if she's going to be in it, do we?
He was at the Star Trek convention.
Oh, and they said?
Yeah, he says Marina Sirtis and Ted Danson.
Was Ted Danson ever on?
No. Also, a couple of Klingons from the original series.
Klingons.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. But he said F. Murray Abraham is going to be on the Orville. This is one episode that Frakes is directing.
And they're all going to be on it?
Wow. And Ted Danson, Ron Canada, Tony Todd. Oh, Tony Todd, Candyman. And also
he's old Jake Sisko.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Tony Todd is.
Yeah. And then Ted Danson.
Ted Danson is one of those people that I like better the older he gets.
Listening to Geek News, take a drink every time someone says Ted Danson.
There you go.
I've always liked Ted Danson.
I'll do this for you for sports, Gina, since you didn't get around to it.
You have a sport?
Fortnite streamer Reverse 2K won big in the Summer Skirmish a few nights ago, the weekly tournament that Epic is running all summer long, but the real prize was an emotional call from his father. It's online. The clip shows Reverse 2K, after winning, talking to his dad, who opens up the conversation with an exclamation of, 86 huggin' $1,000? You're going to need a huggin' tax guy. Are you crying? Hey, I would too, brother. This is his dad talking to him. Yeah, he won $86,000 playing Fortnite.
That's great. It's not a sport, but that's great.
It's a competition.
Yeah, okay, it's not a sport.
Sure it is.
It's an e-sport.
It's an e-sport.
There's no physical requirement.
Gina, there isn't in cricket either.
Yeah, there is.
Hardly any.
You're swinging a bat.
They
and
mostly
running.
stand around.
Bowling.
You throw a ball.
And finally, we'll close with some good news. Because they're remaking Dune.
They're going to try and make it a good movie this time.
And the director and writer Denis Villeneuve, he did Contact and all this stuff. He has let us know that his Dune movie will only dive into the first half of the book.
Okay. So we're going to have more.
Because the other one tried to do the whole book in one shot, and it didn't work too well. So thank you, Dennis. Thank you for saving us the trouble.
We have a giveaway here. Marvel Studios' Avengers Infinity War is available on digital HD at 4K Blu-ray DVD starting August 14th, but you can win it before you can buy it by texting this keyword SOUL, S-O-U-L, SOUL. Text that to 33986.
All right. And traffic, do you have that as well?
Crash southbound I-15 at 146 South, off to the right shoulder. Crash eastbound 126 South at 13th West, right shoulder affected there. Crash westbound Main Street, 33rd South in Salt Lake, 2 left lanes affected there. And a crash eastbound I-215 Redwood Road in Salt Lake, left lane is closed there. What's better after LASIK? Pool parties. Call Hoops Vision today for $800 off your all laser LASIK procedure. Get ready to take the plunge. Call and schedule today.
If you're out in traffic, you want to be on a good set of tires. Might I suggest Big O tires?
They are good tires.
I have run Big O tires on all my cars now for years.
I have the Big O snow tires that I put on. It's not quite time yet, but I will when it's done.
So Big O is, their brand of the Big O tire. $100 off Big O brand tires right now through August 26th. They're celebrating their anniversary. It doesn't say here what anniversary it is, but it is a Big O anniversary. And they're more than tires. They do brakes and shocks and struts and all of that kind of stuff, air conditioning and that. But what I like about Big O Tire is that if you go to the same one, like I do, I go to 2nd East in South Temple, after 2 times probably, they know you when you walk in the door.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, hi, Bill. How you doing? What's which car did you bring in this time? Is it the Pilot or the CRV? What do you need? You got tire problems? Whatever. So Big O Tires, it's the team you trust. 40 locations along the Wasatch Front. Save $100 on Big O brand tires right now. Go to bigotires.com.
AWOL Nation.
Let's join Carrie and Bill at the Acme Broadcasting Company party at Rockport Reservoir. What a nice day for a company party, huh?
Oh, God, yes. I mean, it's just beautiful up here. And we deserve this, don't we?
I think that everybody on the staff deserves a nice party like this. I mean, we've all worked so hard to get this station to show in the ratings.
Yeah. Showing up in the top 35 stations ain't that easy either.
No.
Hey, look at everybody down there on the beach by the picnic table. We ought to hike down there.
No, we can get a much better shot at all of them with our paintball guns from up here.
Huh.
Now look at Mario there. I'll bet you I can knock that beer right out of his hand.
Good shot. hey, they can't see us up here, can they?
Well, apparently not. Hey, listen, see if you can splatter the side of Bessie with a volley of that green paint you got.
Righto. Just about spelled my name. Hey, they're all starting to scatter and take cover now. What a great party. Hey, see if you can hit Sonny before she makes it to that tree.
Okay. Oh, damn, I missed her. You know, she's so thin, there's not much of a target there. Hey, what's Ed Acme doing?
Well, it looks like he's pushed over the picnic table and he's using it as a barrier. Get out your binoculars.
Got him. Oh, my God. That's a 30-30 he's pulling out of his knapsack. Oh! And it looks like he's got a bead on us, too. That was too close.
Godfrey! Jeez, everybody else seems to be packing heat, too. Look at that. Mario's gunning back at us with some kind of flare gun.
Whoa!
Gee!
All right, Sonny thinks she's going to hit us clear up here with that little pistol of hers.
Whoa!
Oh, but Acme's really got us pinned down with that thing.
Well, then I guess it's a good thing I brought this to the company party, isn't it?
Oh, an Uzi.
Yeah.
Bill, you the man. Oh, God, what a great party. Lair. Spell it with me now. L-A-I-R. Lair. And now we'll use it in some dialogue featuring our two good Utah friends, LeVar and LeGrand. LeGrand is planning a wedding for one of his many daughters. LeVar has come over to LeGrand's house to borrow a cup of sugar when this conversation ensues.
LeGrand? LeGrand, where are you? Can I come in? Yep. Back here in the kitchen, LeVar. Come on back.
What in heaven's name are you doing, LeGrand?
Well, as you know, LeVar, my little girl, Tabiona, is getting married this weekend.
Right.
Well, I'm putting on a wedding, and it ain't easy or inexpensive for that matter. I'm saving myself some money by making the wedding cake myself.
You can make the cake cheaper than the ones you can get at Horman's? You know, the ones that come with the plastic balloons or rainbows on them?
Oh, yeah. And I can make a bigger wedding cake, too, for half the price.
Huh.
I found a recipe here in my old copy of the Ensign. How to make a big wedding cake for cheap. Look here at the picture. It's a 7-layer cake.
Boy, howdy, that is a beaut. How many layers is it?
7.
7?
1 more than 6, 1 less than 8. 7 layers.
Looks yummy. Hey, what's in each layer?
Sugar and lard.
Good Lord, LeGrand. That ain't 7 layers, that's only 2.
Listen up, LeVar. I mix some lard with some sugar to make the lard sweet. I put that between each one of the cake layers to sort of glue them together, and then I cover the whole thing, all 7 layers, with another huge glop of lard mixed with sugar, except that's dyed pink. Hence, a 7-layer cake.
Oh. Well, what's the decoration you put on that then? Like candy hearts or them little silver BBs or anything like that?
No, but we got an old Barbie and Ken doll dressed up in wedding clothes. One of the little kids is making a cute gazebo-type thing out of Play-Doh. We're putting that on the top layer. It's going to look like a real wedding cake.
Oh. Hey, who's your little girl marrying, anywho? What's his line of work?
Well, he's a nice young man from Magna named Laron. He's a bricklayer.
Dedicating that one to Todd Bridges.
Okay, good.
For he is the last one to die from the cast of Different Strokes.
Man.
So,
all right.
What?
We will beat Gina on
Thursday or Wednesday?
Thursdays.
Thursday. I can never remember.
I know.
I just look at the schedule that day.
And you might miss it because right now it's 9 o'clock. You don't know what the hell happens here at 7 o'clock.
I know I don't.
But that's what we do at 7 o'clock on Thursdays.
I'm going to make a note of that.
We do beat Gina, and it's a trivia contest.
At 7 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay.
And the way it works is I have a prize. It's usually a Prohibition gift card and something else, like RSL tickets or something like that. But it's only fair that if I beat you, you offer me a prize.
Yeah.
And people say, well, nobody really brings those prizes down, do they? No. They do, and
most often they do.
And we expect you to. And so I got this bag at my desk and a letter.
Yeah.
And
it's a nice bag.
It is. I'll reuse that. And I remember, because as I open the letter, there's stickers in here, and I remember this was the gift that was promised for Beachine. It's a sticker that said, "A woman's place is in the revolution." And I said, I want that sticker, and here it is.
Do you know a woman who would appreciate that? You're going to give it to?
I appreciate
it.
Oh. Actually, I'll probably give it to Jonesy. She can put it on. She can put it on her new notebooks for school.
I was talking to a woman yesterday who had on a T-shirt that said "Nevertheless, she persisted."
Yeah.
On it.
And she also gave me a sticker, and it says "The Supremes." And it's a little cartoon of RBG and Elena Kagan and Sotomayor, which I like. I'll probably give both of these to Jonesy. She can put those on her.
Sure. She would love that.
But this is from Samantha. It's a letter on a piece of paper.
Well, read it.
Okay.
Dear Carrie, Bill, and Gina, thank you for the prize for Beat Gina. I wanted to apologize for the audio quality of my phone. I had no idea I was having issues. As a longtime friend of the program and podcast rerun listener throughout my workday, I cringe and became frustrated when I hear awful phone quality. It was also my first time calling in, and I feel terrible about my call and what my sister affectionately calls the worst Beat Gina. I don't think that's true. Because of this, please accept the extra prizes as a symbol of my apology. For Carrie,
wow.
I couldn't find Take 5 candy bar, so I hope this Reese's snack or Take 5 snack mix.
This is perfect. Yes, thank you.
Bill,
5 snack mix.
Bill,
Yes.
Cheese Its.
Oh, no.
Not Nips.
No.
Cheese Its for you.
Original.
Yep. And Oreos for everyone.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
What a nice thing. I'm eating these cheeses.
Dylan, we still need to get the State Fair Oreos. Are you on that? Okay. But these are just good old, the classic.
What does it say up in the corner?
It's family size. You know,
Family
we're
size.
family here.
Sort of, yeah.
And she says, the Geek Show says, hey, make mine a double. Gina, you never ruin the show, but please do a podcast. Sincerely, Samantha.
You know, I never buy these for myself. The only time I have Cheez-Its is when somebody gives them to me.
People give them to you, huh?
But thank you, Samantha. And
Very
yours
nice.
was not the worst Beat Gina ever.
Oh, no. No.
I don't remember specifically Samantha's Beat Gina, why she would say that.
Was it the Martha Stewart one?
Was it the? I can't.
Because that was the worst.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the caller's fault.
No. It was terrible questions.
Bad questions.
So, but now we are gone this Thursday. We're going to be.
Oh yeah.
We're going to.
Where are we going?
We're going to Chicago. It's
when?
It's the radio morning show boot camp.
Huh? Am I going?
Yes, you're going.
All right.
We leave Wednesday
Afternoon.
and we're gone Thursday, Friday. But we have been tirelessly preparing for being gone. We've recorded new show material for Thursday and Friday, so you'll get.
There will be some best of show material,
But
and some new
yeah.
material.
Between 7 and 9 a.m. Thursday and Friday. Stuff you have not heard.
And you may never want to hear again.
Yeah, exactly.
Between 6 and 7, it's all about Richie. 7 to 9, it's you guys. And
Okay.
then 9 to 10, it's all about me again. So,
Okay.
I mean, that's how it'll
That's
run.
how it
both
goes,
Thursday
yeah.
and Friday.
I've seen the files of our best ofs. The archives go back, but he's got them all divided up. It's divided up with those guys and my stuff.
Yeah.
And do
doesn't
you know
even
what
say
I
Richie.
think we should do? And we haven't even talked about this. This is when we have morning show meetings on the air. I think we should bring some sort of small recording device and record a couple of things. Just
come on.
No, just
Sound like
here's-
what's her
Terry-
name on Bob's Burgers.
You'll thank me
Will I?
on Monday when you're tired, and I can say we're going to play back a little something that happened to us over the last little trip, and you can have a little bit of a break on Monday morning.
Do we have such a device?
Yeah, I do. I have one.
Yeah.
Don't I?
Yeah. We have access to such a device. However, I'm not here Monday, so someone else will have to load it in.
Carrie, just a couple, just a little bit.
We'll take
We
it
may
just in
run
case.
into one of our old radio friends.
Who
would that
Like-
be?
We don't have any radio
Sure.
friends.
Like
No, we
Brother
don't.
Wheeze, we might run into Brother
Nah.
Wheeze.
Yeah.
Griff, we might run into.
Maybe
No.
Griff. Maybe Paul from Florida.
Where's that young Ron? I can never.
It's Paul.
Yeah.
Young Ron is gone, apparently.
I think Paul's gone too.
No, Paul's still there.
He is? Yeah, I'll have a recorder. That's what I'll do. I will
I'm
make
just
sure that I have a recorder.
I'm just saying for a couple of we might be glad we have it there.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
This isn't vacation, Carrie. It's a work trip.
I know. That's what the the thing is for. There's the work
We'll be
part.
working.
The work part is attending the seminars.
You're just adding extra work.
I just think people like to hear when we go on adventures.
Just extra work.
Well, we can tell them about it when we come back.
But it's we're standing here with so-and-so.
Besides, I won't be tired on Monday.
They don't give a rat's ass about people doing radio people and other...
We could run into Rahm Emanuel. You don't know. Right?
It'd be nice to have a recording device if one of us gets shot.
See?
Yeah.
That's some viral audio there.
Yeah. I bet that'd go.
I won't be tired on Monday, Gina, because of my Brooklyn and sheets.
You don't need boot camp for that kind of segue.
Nope. Let's see. Now, I've been looking for a word to describe my Brooklyn and sheets, and I found it in one of their pamphlets. Because, when you get the Brooklyn and sheets, they come in this really nice package. They come in a gray tote bag that you can use.
For something else.
It's great. But one of the things in the tote bag had this on it: buttery smooth.
Okay, that you just
sleeping in butter.
You haven't sold me on it till now, but
buttery smooth. That's the way I want to describe my Brooklyn and sheets to you. I love them. They're just terrific. It's a small business approach from being run by a husband and wife to being involved in every step of the manufacturing process to a customer service team that cares so much they remember your name. An old-fashioned spirit despite it totally modernizing an old industry. My Brooklinen sheets are the best, most comfortable sheets I've ever slept on. Brooklinen.com is giving an exclusive offer just for our listeners. You can get $20 off and free shipping when you use the promo code Jackson, my last name, at brooklinen.com. They are so sure you're going to love your new sheets that they're offering you a risk-free 60-night satisfaction guarantee and a lifetime warranty on all of their sheets and comforters. The only way to get the $20 off and free shipping is to use the promo code Jackson at brooklinen.com. That's Brooklinen, BROOKLINEN.com, and the promo code Jackson, JACKSON. These really are the best sheets ever.
You better get your ass to the X96 Toyota Big Ass Show, Saturday, September 1st at the Gallivan Center with AWOL Nation.
My question is, and this is for you parents, is I didn't know that they still did these.
Oh, yeah.
The daddy-daughter dance, and there's a mommy-son dance.
Yeah.
I didn't know they still did these.
Yeah.
These seem
No, they're sweet.
creepy.
No, they're sweet. They're really
No,
I don't know. You're not watching Bates Motel with me.
That's your problem. You're skewed with the Bates family.
Well, they're just
Because Carrie, that's all that is a dance.
Well, tell me what what is it?
It's
Tell
just
me.
meant to be. It's meant to be an evening where father and daughter, who may not necessarily interact all the time, because the dad's at work and it's the mom who takes care of things and. So it's just so they just go to the dance and there's punch and cookies.
It's cute.
And,
You get dressed up, and it's a nice.
Why do you think it's
evening out.
creepy?
You don't think it sends a weird message?
No.
Because you do the exact same activity with a boy. The boy you're dating. It's the exact same activity, the prom, right?
Well, except it's
or the harvest dance.
Except there's a different intent.
And this is no different than
no. There's a different intent. If you're taking a girl to the prom, you'll want to after the prom get with her in the back seat of the car, and in the daddy-daughter dance, that never would even occur to you.
Well,
I mean, really?
No. Carrie, okay, do you think this is cute?
All right.
When dads that have little girls and the little girl wants to have a little tea party, and she invites daddy to the tea party, and they say,
I'm not getting laid at the end of a tea party.
Kids shouldn't be.
Well, it doesn't have to go there. It's
Well,
just
but that's what the dance is all about.
That's what's in Carrie's mind.
See, anytime I went to a high school dance, my goal at the end was to at least make out.
Yeah.
Okay, Carrie, I went to lots of dances where that never happened.
Gina,
that's a bad example.
Gina, that's you. You're a bad example.
I just went to dances where it was just about the dance, and we went out to dinner, and that was the end of it.
No, Gina, the guy you were with, that was not what it was all about.
All guys think that way. Any dance
they do.
ever. That's the purpose of going to a dance.
Yes.
No.
Okay, you see my point about the daddy-daughter.
No, because daddy's it's a daddy. It's not. It's the kid's dad, not a date.
The real reason we should stop doing the daddy-daughter and the mommy-son
Yeah.
is because this is the age of Disney. At least one of the parents are dead or divorced or something.
Be a part of the Radio from Hell show on X96. Call 877-602-9696 or text us at 33986. Message and data rates apply.
You eat a few Cheez-Its, and then you take an Oreo, and you eat that, and then a couple more Cheez-Its, and you got this wonderful cheesy, chocolatey combination that sounds weird, but it's actually quite good.
Did you see the new Cheez-Its that are coming?
No, what?
They're ridged.
Oh, I have seen those. Yeah.
I
like for dip.
I guess I don't know.
Why else do you
Is it a
ridge
texture
something?
thing?
It'll capture more of that cheese flavor somehow, or not.
Yeah. All right. Remember that information that the deep voice guy just gave you, the telephone and texting information. You're going to need it here in about about 4 minutes when we start Boner of the Day voting. Boner fight happens in about 4 or 5 minutes. Right after this here news brought to you by.
Shouldn't have eaten an Oreo, right?
Well,
right.
Are you eating on the air again?
I didn't mean to.
Way to go.
When life feels like it's crashing down on you from above, Lifetime Roofing is here to offer you peace of mind. In that home of yours, you and your family have your own personal fortress of reassurance. Roofs at Lifetime Roofing are simply better than everyone else's, period.
So here's a story. Bill Frost was talking about that show, Lodge 49. And, of course, there's a story about Wyatt Russell, the star of the show, to promote it. But, see, he said, now it says here, at first blush, Lodge 49 kind of plays like The Big Lebowski. Okay. But bearded star Wyatt Russell says that's just because of his appearance on the series. I look more like Jeff Bridges than I look like my dad, Kurt Russell, says Wyatt Russell. But the comparison stops there after watching a couple of episodes. Created by novelist and first-time TV writer Jim Gavin, Lodge 49, premiering today, is appropriately enough set in California. Russell plays Dud. Not dude.
Not dude.
Dud.
All right.
An unemployed ex-surfer and lost soul who finds meaning in a local fraternal order that's seen better days.
Man.
It's only 10 episodes. Produced by Paul Giamatti.
Oh, really? Okay.
And
now you have my
now
interest.
your interest.
And has a kind of a feel, well, this means nothing, I won't read that line. He said, the tone is unlike any show I've seen on TV in a long time. I think it harkens back to some of the TV shows of the 70s and 80s. There is a sense of optimism inside a sense of dark consequences or circumstances. It's like I used to love watching Cheers, he said, because it brought people together from different facets of life, showed how those relationships worked. Everybody together from different, backgrounds in the bar, cooperating and getting along and working together. And he says the show is kind of like that.
You mean coitus?
Coitus. Representative Mia Love defended a mailer sent by her office to constituents about her efforts on a banking bill that features a Deseret News masthead over a statement from an op-ed that appeared in the Deseret News. It's accurate. It's a quote that was published in the Deseret News, so that's exactly what we're stating here. We're not saying that this came from the editorial board of the Deseret News, Mia Love said. The mailer was sent out at taxpayers' expense, and it places the statement, this will be the most significant partisan action taken by Congress this year, and Love sponsored several key provisions of this bill, right under the newspaper's masthead. The quote isn't from a news story or a Deseret News editorial, but from a May 29th op-ed that was written by...
So it's a lie?
No, yes, it is a lie.
It's misleading.
It's misleading. It was written by Scott Simpson, who's with the Utah Credit Union Association.
Not someone who works for the Deseret
No,
News.
not at all.
Yeah.
No.
But Mia Love's campaign is making it seem, and even the Deseret News has said,
this is misleading.
that you should not have done this.
Yeah.
Because this is not our opinion. We have not stated an opinion on this issue one way or the other. This was there was an op-ed that we printed that was written by two other people, but the Deseret News editorial staff has not taken this opinion.
Trib should sue her.
The Deseret News.
Or the Deseret News,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And the Trib, both of them.
Well,
everybody.
I'm going to sue her.
All of you.
Alex Trebek's making noises like he might finally retire as the longtime host of Jeopardy, and he has suggested that now. Initially, he said, well, a guy named Alex Faust could replace me. Alex Faust is a play-by-play announcer for the Los Angeles Kings, apparently a very sharp guy and really good on the microphone and all of that. But then he said, there's this attorney, Laura Coates. She's African-American, and she appears on some of the cable news shows from time to time. She could be a great replacement for me.
He's on my
Is that her?
Deadpool, by the way.
There's a picture of her at x96.com/live.
Why is Trebek on your Deadpool?
He had the brain thing, and he was in the hospital.
Laura Coates is a former federal prosecutor, civil rights attorney who now teaches law at George Washington University. She's a regular analyst on CNN and hosts a Sirius XM radio show called The Laura Coates Show. She's written a book called You Have the Right, A Constitutional Guide to Policing the Police. And she said, I'm honored and humbled that Alex Trebek would think I'd be a great host of my favorite game show ever.
Well,
she'd give it to her. Sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she really wants to do it.
Oh.
She has other fish to fry.
She's got other gigs.
Yeah.
All right.
It's Boner Fight with Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, this is the winner of round one, which we did in the 7 o'clock hour, going up against the winner of round two, which we did in the following hour, which would have been if I remember correctly, the 8 o'clock hour. So the winner of Boners Round 1 was, oh, that's why California is on fire. A pastor named Kevin Swanson says God rained this fire down on California because of their California's continued support for LGBT gay rights issues. So it's God's fire coming down on California. Going up against the winner of round 2, I'm sure there was a good reason for beating a naked woman, although nobody can seem to find out what that might be. A Detroit police officer caught on video pummeling a naked woman who was being restrained by 2 other people, and it was in an emergency room at a hospital. There's been no good explanation for that. Well, there can never be a good explanation for beating a naked woman. That's number 2.
There you go. You've got to decide of these 2 candidates which. Yes, Gina?
I was just going to say you can win a Broovies gift card.
All right. You've got to decide which of these 2 candidates is the worst. Which one deserves to be Boner of the Day? This is Boner Fight. 1 or 2. Remember the candidate number you think should win. Put that number in the message of a text. Text that to 33986. You can call 877-602-9696. Or go to x96.com, look for the box that says Boner Fight August 6. If you don't see that box, refresh. It should appear. You've got less than 300 seconds to do it, though. Let's go. This is Boner of the Day.
The music starts at 10 with a 1-hour nonstop.
Senior. Spell it with me now. Senior. Senior. And now we'll use it in some dialogue featuring our 2 Utah friends, Elder LeGrand R. Dunn Jr. and his trailer-dwelling pal, LeVar. Imagine, if you will, LeVar and LeGrand enjoying a lazy Saturday afternoon of TV watching in LeVar's trailer home at the Restful View Mobile Home Park. Again, the word is senior. Yeah, sure is fun sitting around on a lazy day watching reruns ahead of the class with you, LeGrand. Glad you could come over.
Well, I had to get out of the house. I mean, for heck's sakes, Midge had a list of honey-do's for me as long as that hair on her mother's chin. I snuck out before she could put me to work.
You don't mind if I drink me some beer while Head to the Class is on, do you, LeGrand?
I've long ago given up trying to change your sinful ways, LeVar. You know I think that drinking beer is wrong, but I'm not going to say anything more about it.
Hey, what happened to the rest of the beer in this can I was working on? I know I didn't finish it.
I don't know. You must have drunk it. I'll get you another can of beer from the Frigidaire.
Head of the Class. This is a really funny show. Reminds me of our school days, LeGrand.
Oh.
You remember? Me out in the parking lot and you over to the seminary building. We had some choice times, didn't we?
Sure did. Now, I'm proud to say I got my high school diploma and my seminary diploma. I don't believe you managed either one, did you?
Never mind. Boy, that redhead on Head of the Class sure reminds me of my old high school sweetheart. Hey, you remember Franny Hayes? God, I sure loved her.
I seen your old flame a couple of days ago, by the way. I seen your Franny Hayes at the Quick Stop. What happened between you 2?
I dumped her. She got pregnant, so I dumped her. Got pregnant right here in this here trailer. How's she doing? She probably got like 20 kids and not a pot to piss in, right?
Married a rich guy. She was driving a fancy Lexi or a Affinity or something like that, covered in diamonds. She looked good.
I don't care. I don't care for her no more.
Oh, come on, LeVar. You care. I seen your face fall when I told you. I seen your emotions fly to the surface.
Shut up and pass me another beer. Hey, you know what? This Alpo don't taste half bad when it's fried up like this.
Follow Carrie Jackson on Twitter at RFHCarrie. Radio from Hell on X96.
Time to award Boner of the Day.
And the Boner of the Day is brought to you in part by this delicious box of Cheez-Its.
And there's so much happening downtown, and now you can find it all in one place. Introducing theblockslc.com, a comprehensive listing of arts, culture, events, entertainment in downtown Salt Lake City. That's theblockslc.com.
What's going on?
What do you mean?
Why is Richie using a Clorox wipe and cleaning the door handle in the door? Why are you doing that?
You want to see what I just took off the door?
But why did you do that?
Because it's gross.
Okay.
All right.
So we had boner candidate number 1. That's why California is burning or is on fire. It's a preacher saying that it's because of they're so liberal about the gays. So God is raining fire down on California.
Yeah.
And that's going against the number 2, which was, well, I'm sure there was a good reason for beating a naked woman. Nobody's been able to provide the reason that this police officer did it as of yet, but that must be a good reason. Let's see, Zach won Broovies gift card. And good, strong, solid voting for both candidates. However, the winner, decisively the winner, number 2, I'm sure there was a good reason for beating a naked woman.
Interesting. I thought for sure one would win. But there you go. You have decided Boner of the Day for August 6th. There won't be a Boner of the Week this week.
No.
Because we won't be here.
No.
But we will have new show for you Thursday and Friday.
We're going to Chicago, and we haven't done this for, I don't remember the last time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been more than 2, I think, since we've...
Because we're company men.
Since we've gone to these... It's a convention for radio hosts.
Specifically morning radio.
Yeah.
Last year it was in Atlanta.
We haven't gone to it for like 3 or 4 years, right?
No, I want to say maybe 3 years ago. I paid and went myself last year to Hotlanta, where I had the best nachos I've ever had. I'm excited to eat in Chicago.
Learned nothing about radio.
No, I learned a few things.
Now,
met some people from Logan Radio that were actually there, small town, Logan, Utah.
So my good friend, our good friend, Bad Brad Wheeler, said that we should go to the Billy Goat. Is that what it's called?
Is that a bar?
It's where the cheeseburger was born.
Yeah.
No, that was a place in New York. I thought.
I think he said Chicago.
I don't know.
There is a place called Billy Goat's Tavern.
Yeah.
And it is featured from Saturday Night Live. Is that what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I can take you right to it.
Yeah, and he said the cheeseburgers are great.
Yeah.
He ate 5 of them in one sitting.
5? Well, that just doesn't sound right.
He said, I was on my 5th cheeseburger when I met Barack Obama in Millennium Park. I said, what? He said, yeah, I met Barack Obama there, shook his hand. So he was campaigning at that time for Illinois Senate. So it was a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, they have a big sign at the Billy Goat Tavern that says cheeseburger. No Pepsi, Coke.
We should go there.
Okay.
And Gina's insisting that we go to the Lux Cafe.
The Grand Lux Cafe.
The Grand Lux Cafe, which is owned by the Cheesecake Factory. And I have promised to give it a fair evaluation.
This is very delicious. Oh, this is a chain.
I hate this. This is
place.
a horrible restaurant.
So you're expecting him to be objective?
I can be.
I want to see if he can.
I can be. And you've made up this story that is just not true.
I absolutely have not made up this story.
Because you think it's funny, and Richie will go along with it because he gets very few chances to pile on me.
Yeah.
Carrie and Sue were there too.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't.
Okay.
It didn't.
Ask your wife; she'll remember.
It didn't really
remember,
happen. Yeah. It didn't really.
But
happen.
the story is that once Bill found out that it was owned by the Cheesecake Factory, he went from "this is a great place" to "this place is terrible."
But see, I wouldn't do that.
That's the story.
If the food was good, I would say the food was good. I wouldn't say this is delicious, and in the next bite go, "Oh, this sucks."
Well, no,
because
we waited till after we were finished and leaving.
Well, I'm not that stupid.
What?
Why would I do that? I'm not stupid.
I don't think it means stupid. Do you think it's a stupid thing?
You said it ruined it for you, knowing that it was a cheesecake.
I know what I recall. What I do remember about it was, it made me mad that you tricked me. That's what made me
I
mad.
didn't, we just withheld information. It wasn't tricking you.
You tricked me
we
into
said,
eating
let's
at
go
the
to this
place.
restaurant. And you said, okay.
And I didn't say anything. I would not go back on whether the food was bad or good because I'm not a dummy. Because I'm smart enough to know that if I did that, you would go, hey, you just said it was good. I didn't do that.
If we had the system that I asked
Yeah,
to
the
have in
if
place,
we had the recording
we could
system,
go
you
back
bet.
and say, and we could play your own words back for you right now.
It's an episode of Black Mirror, and I want nothing to do with it.
There is a thing called a cake shake that we have to try. I'm hearing more and more things about it.
Oh,
they take a piece of cake, and they jam it in the shake at
I'll
a
do
place
that.
called Portillo's, and I know right where that is. I'll take us
So
there
we're
too.
going to eat our way through Chicago.
Oh, Portillo's. That's Dr. Carol's, the other dentist in Dr. Carol's office. What's her name?
Melissa Jenkins.
Melissa Jenkins. She's from Chicago. I just got my teeth cleaned the other day, and I asked her for recommendations.
She
and
says, have you been drinking cake shakes?
Yeah, she said Portillo's and the Chop House. So...
Yeah,
I'm in.
And Bad Brad said he went to some place that was a restaurant that was, you know, those two corncob tower apartments, condo buildings. That there's a restaurant there
in the bottom of them. Yep.
That he said was really. And isn't the House of Blues there?
House
too?
of Blues is right behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, he said the restaurant in those corncob was good, but it was really expensive apparently.
We're just going to go eat.
That's we're eating our way through
Listen,
Chicago.
that's how you plan trips. I mean, I'm telling you right now, after I watched a Bourdain the other night, I have no need or reason to go to Charleston, South Carolina. But now I have two restaurants. I said, let's just fly in, do those two
Fly in to
restaurants,
eat?
fly out.
Good for you.
know?
Good for you.
Why not?
And you should. There's a thing called a pizza pot pie in Chicago that if I thought you guys would want to wait in the line long enough to do it, we
No.
would go do it. But it's 2 hours.
No. I'm not
It's
waiting
delicious.
2 hours for food.
I waited 30 minutes for a chicken sandwich, and I'll never do it again. I'm not going to wait in a line.
No.
All right.
Now I'm hungry.
What, with all the Oreos?
I had one Oreo.
Cheez-It?
No, I'm not going to eat a Cheez-It.
Well, imagine, Gina, if you were able to cook anything you'd like to perfection.
Why?
Let's sign
Carrie,
her up.
I'm no good at
Park City
cooking.
Culinary Institute. Let's sign her up.
It's not just for people in the industry or chefs. It's if you want to get into, being a chef. You will train to cook and bake with master chefs at Park City Culinary Institute. And that's not in Park City. It's in Salt Lake City, right downtown, 1484 South State Street, Park City Culinary Institute. They have a chef that worked with Gordon Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen Nightmares. She was his kitchen manager, making all the food that you saw on TV. Anybody can attend, like I said, not just professional chefs. This is great for people who want to change their career. You're listening at work right now and you hate your job and you thought to yourself, I've always wanted to be a chef. It's a sexy occupation. And this is perfect for you. Career changers, retirees, entrepreneurs, people passionate about food. A lot of their students have started food trucks, and a lot of them are working in restaurants like Log Haven, Lakai, High West, Deer Valley, Whiskey Street, Gourmandise, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Copper Onion. They do not, Gina, have any graduates from the at the Cheesecake Factory, though. So they just want you to know that. They have a 1 to 3 month program with day classes or evenings so that you can attend after work, full or part-time, and you can use the GI Bill to pay for it. So learn to cook, be a chef, and mention X96 when you enroll, and you'll receive a free all-clad pot valued at $200. Go to info.parkcityculinaryinstitute.com.
X96.
Barberry on X96.
So I came across this. Oh, we got to do something here?
Yeah, just a quick sponsor.
Okay.
For whatever we do here.
A list. I have a list for you.
Snowbird is proud to be in its 11th year of hosting the epic finish of the Queen stage of the Tour of Utah, an event that's free for all spectators. Details at snowbird.com.
So the most frightening and famous serial or just criminals from every state.
It's Radio from Hell with another list, because people love a good list. X96.
Now, there are some of these killers that you will not have heard of.
Okay.
But I'm sure Gina can identify, like, who would be the most famous killer from the state of California?
Well.
Oh, come on.
Well,
Chuck.
Well, no, I was going to say, does he count as a killer, though? Because he didn't actually kill anybody.
Criminal or killer.
Oh,
okay, well,
Charlie
Manson.
It would be Chuckles, yeah.
Colorado, who would you think? You should be able to get this. It's two people.
Colorado. Oh, Dylan and...
yeah, Dylan Klebold and the Columbine killers.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Not you, Dylan. Other Dylan.
Let's see. Trying to find some that... Oh, now, you will know who this killer is, but I don't know if you'll know that... well, now I've given it away. It's a woman, state of Florida.
Eileen Wuornos.
Right, yeah. It's fascinating. And there are people like Georgia, Max Pixel. I don't know who the Casanova Killer, he was called. Hawaii, a Xerox employee who brought a gun to work and killed a bunch of people.
Oh, okay.
So there are things like that. Now here close to home, Idaho, a guy named James Edward Wood, convicted and sentenced to death in a 1993 kidnap and murder of an 11-year-old girl. Oh, we know this case. Kidnapped her and had her in the woods for a long time. Anyway, so who do you think it is from Utah?
Ted Bundy.
No.
Not Bundy, huh?
No, Ted Bundy was not from Utah.
Oh, you mean like born there?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, now I'm totally thrown.
It's fascinating that it would be this person.
Is it Mark Hoffman?
No.
No.
The
hi-fi murder guys?
No. Although, I think I would have put them, although they weren't from Utah. They were Dale Pierre and Selby.
Mm-hmm. Pierre Dale Selby.
Is it the brothers?
No. This list says, it's from a website called doyouremember.com. Oh, Vermont is Ted Bundy, because that's where he was from.
Okay.
Utah is Butch Cassidy.
Well, that's a fun one.
He was born Robert Leroy Parker. Widely speculated that he survived the shootout that killed his partner and died of cancer in 1937.
That's what I choose to believe.
That's what I think happened, too. Yeah, it's... I was surprised when I saw that. Really? It's Butch Cassidy. Because, he is...
from here.
And was very famous.
Well, the hole-in-the-wall game.
Yeah, I prefer that to a modern-day one.
Sure, we'll take Butch Cassidy.
I'll take that one.
Yeah, well, so that's our...
we got Butch Cassidy.
You bet.
All right.
We hope you'd enjoyed another list with Radio from Hell on X96.
And just quickly, this is the anniversary of Andy Warhol. Is it?
He would have been 90 today, so it's his birthday.
He died, and I was trying to remember.
Didn't I say it was a kind of a botched procedure? Or
yeah,
something?
he had gallbladder surgery.
Right.
That he wasn't in the hospital. He went home, but he died a few days after he got home.
Complications.
And
it was probably because he didn't go, oh, this isn't right. Something's not right here. And he was not around anybody who had care for him.
Yeah. The family sued the hospital saying, you let him go home before he was ready.
Did they win?
And quickly settled out of court.
Okay. Well, let's do the promo and settle on out of here.
I don't know if I have. Let me see here. Now I do. All right.
Tuesday's Radio from Hell show is a busy one.
We have an X poll at 6:45. Describe your favorite movie in 5 words. If you stump us, we'll give you a prize like Real Salt Lake tickets.
Well, supplies last. Oh. That's tomorrow at 6:45 on Radio from Hell.
I was just about to ask if we have enough prize.
Yeah, supplies. I think supplies is 1 pair.
It's a supply.
Yeah, so while supplies last.
That'll do.
Yeah.
That'll do. All right. Let's see now.
just what I needed, a lecture from liberal Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And
just want you to know that I appreciate liberals like you and the way you judge us. It's a nice reminder that the real judgment will one day be upon us.
All right.
I wish you don't have the John. I don't like you and your John Goodman.
You make fun of me and people like.
I need to relabel that one because I'm putting all my
liberal
all under liberal, and I don't have that one under.
Because that's a liberal one.
The John Goodman one is.
I don't care for your show.
I don't care for you or your program.
Yeah. You make fun of me and people I
It was
love
a studio. What was the Studio 360? Yeah.
Yeah, because he came in and yeah, I'll find it.
He was a judge in Nevada, as I recall.
Because that would be a good liberal drop.
Well, you don't worry about it now. Carrie's
He's
busily
he's
trying to find
thinking
it.
about it now.
Yeah, sorry.
It's top of mind now.
Right.
Yeah, because if I don't, let's see.
I don't get what he's doing, and I'm smart. Not book smart or street smart or brain smart, but something.
Yeah.
That
wasn't
I'll
it, though.
find it. No, that's not it.
All right.
All right, that's good enough. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
While supplies last.
John Smith is next.
A 1 hour nonstop music wing ding starts now. X96.